And we're back in New Orleans, getting set for the start of the game. And right now, let's go down to the third member of our team, Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, the Saints' biggest offseason investment is out for the remainder of the season. Safety Jarius Byrd suffered a torn lateral meniscus in his knee on Thursday. He's had surgery on Friday, and despite the competition, the Saints wanted his father to know. You see, today was actually supposed to be a family affair. Jarius' dad, Gilbert, is quarterbacks coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got a chance to talk to Gilbert pregame, asked him how his son is doing. He said he's doing well, but I tell you, as a father, when your son's in pain, I just want to go out there and take his place.
Boy, what a series of emotions for Gilbert with Jarius Byrd, who is the biggest offseason acquisition with that season-ending knee injury already, the surgery, and Sean Payton's defensive unit, especially the secondary, a little bit weakened here, Kirk.
Yeah, weakened, but they're still experienced in a couple areas. We'll see today what Rob Ryan does to not only compensate for what Jarius Byrd brought to this defense, but they got to get some things fixed early on.
You see 18 consecutive wins with Payton. That doesn't include the year he was out, and Lovie Smith has done well against the Saints, winning 4 of 5 games in that battle. So Tavares Cadet is back deep for the Saints, and Michael Keenan will kick off. Tampa Bay won the toss and they deferred, and the Saints will get the ball first. Not a surprise to you.
No, not at all. This is what Lovie Smith wants.
If he wants to go after the quarterback, this is the best time to do it, I would think. And so they'll start from the 20-yard line. And Drew Brees, and does he thrive here in New Orleans? Since 2011, a 21-4 record at home.
Yeah, it's one thing that when we talked to Drew yesterday, he's tired of hearing how he plays on the road. He's happy to be at home. He's happy to get his guys together and try to get another victory.
And the Saints, of course, won their last 9 home games. So that is the burden that the Buccaneers face in this division battle.
5-4. Yellow ready. Yellow 80. Yellow 80. Easy, Mickey left. Mickey left. Ready. 20. Present.
And the quick toss out to Brandon Cooks, and Cooks is stopped maybe a yard on the play by Jonathan Banks. So Drew Brees leading the Saints, and this is the Saints offensive team. And of course Austin Johnson in at fullback, and Kyrie Robinson again for Mark Ingram at running back in the offensive line.
Yeah, Kyrie Robinson, big plays last week in the run game. Look for him this week to try to follow suit like he did last.
Second down and 9, getting some pressure, and the pass is going to be caught by Kenny Stills, and that'll be good enough for a first down as Werner was covering on the play. Let's take a look at the Buccaneers defensive unit, and up front you got to watch out for Gerald McCoy. He's even with that broken left hand.
Just having McCoy in the lineup, I'm telling you, the confidence of this defense goes through the roof. Last week was a menace against that Steeler front.
And Major Wright starting in place of the injured free safety Deshaun Golson. So after the 16-yard play, here's the quick pass out again to Cooks, and Cooks won't get much after the catch. Gets about 3 with Mark Barron, the strong safety, making the play.
Well, so far with Drew Brees, I'm seeing a lot of rhythm. The timing is there early on. This is something that they practice all week long, is being on time, being there, and Drew Brees' first couple throws on point.
So it'll be second down and 6. Drew Brees, by the way, has not thrown more than 2 touchdowns in any game yet this year.
Ready. Yellow 80. Yellow 80. Ready. You ready, my son?
He'll keep it on the ground to Robinson, and the Bucs are there, and there'll be a loss of about a yard on the play, make it 3 yards as Golston is there to make the play. William Golston, who has one of the sacks, one of the 9 sacks for the Bucs defense this season.
This is what I want to see more of from this New Orleans Saints offense, is running in between the tackles, not outside. Golston and Johnson on the outside. That ball's not going to be out there too often.
So Pierre Thomas comes into the game. He's now the Saints' all-time leader in receiving. It'll be third down and 7. And going deep on this play, and the ball is knocked down. Meacham was the intended receiver, and Alteron Werner, the former Titan, was there and made a textbook play.
The play got started early on. I think it was a quick count by Drew Brees where the Tampa Bay defense isn't even set yet. Drew Brees, thinking he has a play, just throws one up. Nice play by Alteron Werner, being patient, cutting the ball off before it can get into Meacham's hands.
So it's fourth down. And Thomas Morstead will be punting, and Solomon Patton who's one of the final cuts, went to the practice squad and has already delivered after he was promoted. And here is Patton, and he'll let the ball bounce into the end zone for the touchback. And so the Bucs defense holds on their first possession, and now Mike Glennon will lead the Buccaneers when we return.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine.
And the Bucs with their first offensive play from the 20. Doug Martin. The running game so far hasn't been there for the most part for Tampa Bay. Mike Glennon has been 6'6", 6'7", whatever you want to say, in his 15th career start. Look at those numbers. What a great touchdown to interception ratio, and leading that final drive to a win in Pittsburgh last week.
Talk about the confidence of a young quarterback last week to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. His confidence going through the roof this week.
I would say, Kurt, 2nd down and 8. In motion is Martin, the running back to the right. He's at the top of your picture. 2nd and 8. And the pass incomplete and thrown past the intended receiver, Vincent Jackson. So here's the Tampa Bay offense. And Mike Evans, the impressive rookie, out with a groin injury. So Louis Murphy, who was a hero last week, starting at wide receiver, and the rest of the unit for the Buccaneers up front. And now it'll be 3rd down and 8. And now you'll hear this New Orleans crowd. Lennon has time and completes the incomplete, knocked away. It looked like Austin Seferian-Jenkins had a chance to make the play and did not hold on as Lofton and Vaccaro double-teamed him downfield, bringing up 4th down.
Early in the football game, these are the catches that you need from your big play tight end. This is why you drafted Seferian-Jenkins, to make plays like this, putting the pressure on the defense, especially the linebackers early on.
Last week, the Buccaneers had 6 drops by their receivers against the Steelers. So it's 4th down. Michael Kanan will be kicking, and Brandon Cooks is back. High kick, not a far kick, and a fair catch called right around midfield, and will be down by the Buccaneers at the New Orleans 40. So only a 37-yard kick that time by Kanan, and Drew Brees goes back to work.
The first drive stalled with Drew Brees, and this is something that he talked about what happened last week in Dallas. They didn't turn drives into points. And you get behind the 8 ball early in the football game, and you're trying to play catch-up. This week, trying to be more balanced, running the football early on to set up that play-action pass.
And as Brees said, at some point it's going to break, and when it does, watch out.
50, ready. Yellow 80, yellow 80, ready.
They start here from the 40. Good field position. And here is Robinson. Robinson getting free for the moment. And is tackled after a gain of about 5 yards by Burner. Mark Barron had a shot at Robinson early.
This is what I talked about in our open, though. When you look at this New Orleans Saints team, last week, they were outmanned up front. It was a physical game for Dallas. This is how you get that physicalness back. You come back and you run in between the tackles, put the pressure on Tampa Bay.
Here Thomas now.
23 paint.
In it back. It's 2nd down and 6.
Ready for second.
Brees has time up the middle, and it is caught by Marcus Colston. So Drew Brees looking to attack early. Didn't work on the first series, but connects on a 36-yard pass to Colston down to the Tampa Bay 20.
This is what this offense has been missing, explosive plays. And who better, Drew Brees to Marcus Colston. We've seen these two before. Early in the football game, Drew Brees showing Colston down the middle of the field.
And Robinson back in at running back. Colston in his 9th year. He's got some veterans along with Meechin. Colston, guys he can rely on. It'll be 1st down, and there's the quick slant throw behind Brandon Cooks. And could have been dangerous on the tip, and you can see how much Brees is upset with himself.
Yeah, he's upset with himself, but we talked with Sean Payton yesterday, the other day, and one thing that he said was, look, the body language. I didn't like the body language of my team. I looked like we were getting whipped up front and not responding. So far in this game, I know it's early on, but different body language than we saw a week ago.
Interesting, Breeze rarely shows any kind of emotion, did there. 2nd down and 10, and the pass swung out to DeMaurice Cadet, and Cadet getting close to first down yardage, knocked out of bounds. It was Major Wright, the former Chicago Bear, who Lovie Smith coached in Chicago, made 9 tackles filling in for Goldson last week. So it'll an 8-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and 2. So this is a big early down for Lovie Smith and his team to try to hold the Saints to a field goal attempt, at least. They've been the best at 3rd downs on offense. Here's Breeze, and it's dropped. Jimmy Graham, the normally reliable tight end, can't hold on. And a big stop that time by the Tampa Bay defense. Mark Barron, you talked about him early on, the big matchup.
I talked about the matchup of Barron because he's got a challenge. Jimmy Graham inside the red zone, he's a big threat. So what does Mark Barron do? He plays to the inside hip and gets his hand in there and knocks the football out. A good job by Mark Barron being patient, making a big play in the red zone.
So now Shane Graham, who's 4 for 5 so far this year, missed a 41-yarder against Dallas. With that, hurt a possible momentum change for the Saints, but he connects on a 30-yard field goal, and the Saints take a 3-0 lead. Sean Payton thought that they might get more, so close to the Bucs goal line.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
And Marcus Colston with a 36-yard catch, but the defense stiffened for the Buccaneers, and the field goal for the Saints, taking a 3-0 lead, and the Bucs will go on offense for the 2nd time in the game. Thomas Morstead and Solomon Patton will run this one out from 8 yards in the end zone, and Patton gets hit head on before he reaches the 15. And it was Ramon Humber who making the play for the Saints. Tampa Bay's year, well, they lost their first 3 games, only scored 45 points. Not a good start for Lovie Smith, but he got his first win as head coach of Tampa Bay, winning in Pittsburgh last week. And Lovie Smith said you could tell the difference in the locker room after the game, night and day. Team exhaling. Let's see what they do on offense now with Glennon from the 15. Glennon's got size, and this pass is knocked down, incomplete, intended for Safarian Jenkins.
You know, talking with Lovie this week, one thing he said, I asked him about the Atlanta game. I said, when you give up 56 points in a football game, Lovie, how do you talk to your team? He said, look, I showed him the film again. I wanted him to see it. I wanted him to feel the pain and the hurt. And trust me, that pain, they took it out on Pittsburgh last week and stole them a football game.
Hey, we were 0-3, and that's who we were.
Exactly.
2nd down and 10. Doug Martin, and Martin tackled from behind after a couple of yards, and it was David Hawthorne, the inside backer, picked up a 3. So now it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Just having Doug Martin back in the football game for the Buccaneers, it's a different offense now. He's the guy that gets this offense going. He runs in between the tackles, but when he gets to the outside, you see it's a physical run game, and he brings that physicalness to this team.
This is a passing down at 3rd down and 7, and a bunch formation to the left for Glennon, who steps up, and Glennon's pass is caught, and it will be enough for the first down to Vincent Jackson. So Jackson, who caught the winning touchdown in the big drive at the end with 7 seconds left in the game, gets 9 yards and a first down for the Bucs.
When you watch Mike Glennon in the pocket, just watch his feet. See, he's not afraid. It's not dirty to him. He said, let me step up, find a good launching spot, and deliver the football. You pick up the first down, get your guys back in the huddle and say, let's do it again.
So if you're afraid, you're really moving those feet a lot, right?
A little bit.
First down up to the 27. And here is a charge up the middle by Martin, and the best run of the game for Martin as he gets to the 32-yard line. And Bunkley on the tackle, a gain of 5. And let's have our first game break of the day. Here's Kurt Menefee.
All right, Bears of Carolina follow the bouncing ball. Teddy Williams of Chicago has the football, hit him in the back on the punt, and that allows Philly Brown to scoop it up and take it 79 yards for a score. Carolina on top, 7-0 quickly. Dick and Kurt.
All right, Kurt Menefee and Carolina, one of those 2-2 teams tied with Atlanta for the division lead. A tight lead, tight division it is. One game separating all the teams on 2nd and 5. And the pass in and out of Vincent Jackson, and it was Keenan Lewis defending on the play. And I think there are a couple of plays already in which Bucs receivers should have caught the ball.
Yeah, this is one thing that if you're Tampa Bay, you don't want to see when you have the young quarterback still gaining confidence from last week. You got to catch the football for him. Let him believe in you that when he throws the football, you're going to catch it because he's going to come right back to you.
Now it's 3rd and 5. Lennon was successful on the last 3rd down conversion. Lennon passes out to Doug Martin, and Martin speeding his way, and Martin against 2 defenders gets big yardage into Saint territory. There's a penalty flag down, however, as Bush and Humber tackle him downfield. So a penalty marker down. Carl Sheffers is the referee this afternoon.
Illegal formation offense. Number 73 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 3rd down.
So the left tackle Anthony Collins was not on the line of scrimmage, and that nullifies what would have been a 34-yard gain.
This is what we call a point of emphasis in the football game right here. The tackle must break the guard's waistline. And this is what the NFL this week, the officials we talked about, you have to have that tackle get on the waistline, because so far it's been sort of an advantage for these tackles trying to get an extra step at the offensive line.
You really have to have 5 men lined up.
Basically.
So now 3rd and 10 in what would have been a big play for the Bucs. Flag down, and Glennon's pass, and it is caught by Lewis Murphy. But there's a penalty marker down, and let's see if it's another flag called against the Buccaneers offense. That was a 28-yard play, and they're going to bring this one back.
Probably look like illegal formation or guys not being set. Probably on the bottom of our screen right here, some guys motioning and shifting at the last second. You have to be set for 1 second before the ball is hiked.
There are 2 fouls by the offense on the play. Illegal formation. The right tackle was uncovered. That penalty's declined. Illegal shift. The players did not all come to a set at any time before the snap. That penalty will be enforced. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
So 62 yards gained in the last 2 plays are brought back because of Tampa Bay penalties. And now it is 3rd down and 15. And the ball set back to the 22. Lennon going underneath. Pass is caught by Bobby Rainey, and Rainey is brought down at the 30 after an 8-yard pickup by Raphael Bush, who's starting in place of Jarris Byrd, the injured free safety. So big opportunities slip by the Buccaneers in their second offensive possession, and they'll have to kick.
It's the self-inflicted wounds. It's formations. This guy's not lining up. Look, the last 2 weeks, this team has been penalized, the Buccaneers, 20 times. That's 10 penalties per game. This is something that Lovey has to get fixed in order for this team to get to where they need to go this year.
And here's Brandon Cooks back to receive this punt on the 22. And he is dropped at the 27-yard line. We have another penalty flag down.
During the kick, holding, number 90 receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
So the penalty called against the Saints. They'll be moved back, but they get the ball. And when we come back, Drew Brees will come out for a third attempt to get a touchdown. 3-0 Saints here in the first.
Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Pizza Hut's bacon and cheese stuffed crust. And by Target. Expect more, pay less.
And Drew Brees has gone into select circle now. He is the 7th fastest after 132 games for 4,000 or more passing yards with one team. And you take a look at the other names on that list. Yes, select company indeed, Kirk.
To me, when I look at this list of quarterbacks, I see consistency. You know, game in and game out is consistency with your football team. Drew Brees, one of the best to do it.
Saints starting on the 12 after the penalty on the kick inside the 5. Brees has time, and he completes the pass for a first down to Jimmy Graham. And Graham out to the 25-yard line, picks up 13.
Well, I talk about the matchup of Jimmy Graham right here. He fakes like he's going down the block and then just finds a little soft spot in the zone. Sit around, turn around, deliver the football. And then last week, remember, he fumbled the football. When he caught it this time, puts 2 hands around it when he's trying to make contact.
And now he is down on the sidelines, and so something has happened to Jimmy Graham as they're working on him as he is prone at the New Orleans bench. It'll be a first down from the 25, and Brees pump fakes, goes underneath, and pass caught by Pierre Thomas. And Thomas trying to spin his way for a first down. Very close. Let's see the hit Jimmy Graham took.
See how he covers the football up, and when he covers the football, right on the shoulder of Jimmy Graham. Levante David, one of the young, fierce tacklers in the NFL. Looks like Jimmy Graham holding that right shoulder just a little gingerly.
Graham coming in as the leading receiver for this team, and on the running play to Pierre Thomas, just a couple there. So a first down for the Saints. Graham is up.
You know, last week against Dallas, this offense of New Orleans only had, what, 3 or 4 possessions early on. They're already in their 3rd possession in the first quarter. This is a different offense this week, but you're seeing a little bit more consistency, a little more balance between run and pass.
Drew Brees said we're really more efficient. We're not getting enough possessions. So far they are. And on the screen pass for Robinson. Kyrie Robinson breaks a couple of tackles. And Robinson winds up on the 45-yard line, just 2 yards short of a first down. And it was Danny Lansana who missed the tackle, the strong side backer. So now the Saints are within 2 yards of a first down. So far it's been a sloppy start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on both sides of the ball.
Well, I think they're missing their middle linebacker, Mason Foster. He's out today. He's been the guy calling the shots first couple weeks of the season. New linebacker Dane Fletcher in calling the plays this week.
And on the end around, here's Brandon Cooks. Cooks gets into Tampa Bay territory with a couple of fakes, and a flag goes down as Cooks goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. After a gain of 16, Major Wright defending on the play. So an end around by the Saints works. We'll see if it sticks.
Whenever you're in the game, you have to know where number 10 is. And I had a chance yesterday to be at practice and watch Brandon Cooks. And when you see Brandon Cooks in the game, he's going to get the football some kind of way, whether it's reverse, screens. He's the big play guy that they miss Darren Sproles. When Darren Sproles left, he's taking over that role of the big play wide receiver / running back.
During the run, illegal block in the back, number 17 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. The yardage is still enough for a first down.
So on the end around, Robert Meacham, illegal block in the back, but it'll still be enough for the first down. They don't get the 16, however.
Yeah, Meacham right here, just lay off of him. This is one of those things, the play's already going by you. Nothing happens. If you can't see the guy's numbers in the front, just keep your hands off.
So Sean Payton Saints on their own 47 as we approach 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Opposite, Mike 50, ready. Ready, my son.
Here's Kyrie Robinson breaking another couple of tackles, and he made it look easy as he gets nearly 8 yards on that play before Jonathan Banks, the cornerback, makes the tackle.
That's physical running. The physical running I talked about in between the tackles, not outside. Don't go out to where Michael Johnson, the defensive end, and Golston on the other side. Get in between those tackles. Run right at Gerald McCoy, who's a penetrator. Try to get the ball inside of him. That's where you're going to get the big runs in the running game.
Third overall offense, 15th in scoring at 24 points a game, and scoring is really where it counts. And here's the handoff again to Robinson. Robinson gets the first down and finally ridden out of bounds by Levante David. Good block that time by Teron Armstead, the left tackle, who had to come out of the Cowboys game last Sunday night with a concussion.
Yeah, Teron Armstead. Remember we talked with Sean Payton a couple of days, and he was saying, hey, Teron Armstead was on our draft board because he was the guy who they needed to be. He's the youngest guy on this offensive line. Everybody else is year 8, year 9, year 10. Only a second-year guy, but yet he brings a lot of toughness and physicality.
They picked him over Mike Glennon. They like Glennon in that third round. They went with Armstead. So here is Breeze drilling it, and it's caught, held onto by Jimmy Graham. So Graham, who took a hit from Levante David and had to come out of the game, takes another one here. He is strong and Major Wright delivering the muscle there, but a 23-yard pickup, and the Saints rolling inside the 15.
When Drew Brees is able to set his feet, step up in the pocket, and release the football, Jimmy Graham, not a lot of guys can jump with Jimmy Graham. You know, he has the basketball background. When you put the ball up, that's just a tough play to defense if you're a middle linebacker. Dane Fletcher didn't have the hops like Mr. Jimmy Graham did.
They've lacked the explosive plays, as you pointed out. They have a couple here. And on the 12-yard line, here is Robinson, who slips and still picks up a yard on the play. So the Buccaneers could have had him behind the line of scrimmage. Instead, he escapes and gets a yard. And it was Dane Fletcher, who, as you mentioned, the middle linebacker, place of Mason Foster, missed the tackle. So the lack of explosive plays, second fewest this year after third most last year for plays 20 or more for New Orleans. It'll be second down and 9 with 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Here's Breeze, and Breeze fires it, and it's dropped by Graham. Graham had it, would not have had the first down, and Mark Barron defending on the play. And it was Barron who might have gotten a hand in. So once again, Barron making life difficult for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, it's just got to be patient. If you're Mark Barron, just be patient. Allow Jimmy Graham, don't let him get into your body. And it's just the patience of Mark Barron waiting for the football to deliver and then get your hand in there.
So now Cooks will go wide to the left here on third down and 9. And can the Buccaneers again stop the Saints, who are threatening and holding to a field goal try? Here's the fade to Graham, and he overthrows him. And covering was Mark Barron. No question that Jimmy Graham is the prime target so far in this game for Drew Brees, but he comes up empty, and once again the Saints have to try for the field goal.
You get down into the red zone. If you're on defense, you're trying to find where number 80 is. Where's number 80? Jimmy Graham. And Mark Barron so far is just shadowing. Wherever Jimmy Graham goes, he's going right there, doing a good job so far on Jimmy Graham, contesting and challenging.
This will be a 29-yard attempt. Graham connected on a 30-yard field goal earlier, and this one is perfect. And the Saints now lead it by a score of 6-0. So Jimmy Graham, one of the toughest matchups in the NFL, and Barron has so far been equal to the task. Well, 7 different receivers have caught passes, but Graham has been the big target so far, but it's only 6-0 right now. And there you say 5 attempts at Graham, and he has caught 2 of them. And Mark Barron, that's a tough assignment for him today. Solomon Patton will stick in the end zone, and we'll have a touchback. And the Buccaneers will come out trailing 6-0 with 21 seconds left in the quarter. 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Buccaneers from the 20-yard line, trailing the Saints 6-0. So far, Bucs have had trouble just lining up. Here's the handoff to Doug Martin, and he moves forward and gets a couple of yards, and that should be the last play of the first quarter. And the offensive line has blocked well for Mike Glennon, and he could use some help from his receivers, shouldn't he? At this point, they've had a few drops.
The drop passes early on have stalled some early drives that seem to be successful.
And that is the end of the first quarter here in New Orleans, with the Saints leading the Bucs 6-0. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter, and don't be fooled by those numbers. Looks like the Saints really rolling, but they've been in the red zone twice and have had to settle with field goals twice. That's not what they're all about. But meanwhile, the Buccaneers will have a 2nd and 7. Dick Stockton, along with Kirk Morrison and Christina Pink here in New Orleans. Hand off to Martin, and Martin will be stopped for no gain by the middle linebacker, Curtis Lofton. Well, tomorrow the Major League Baseball postseason on Fox Sports 1 continues as the scene shifts to St. Louis for Game 3 of the National League Division Series. Gassel Puig, Matt Kemp, the hero of the last game yesterday, and the Dodgers take on Matt Holliday, Yadier Molina, and the Cardinals tomorrow at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. What a series that shapes up to be.
That big home run, Matt Kemp in the bottom of the 8th to win that big. That was a big homer.
3rd down and 6. Glennon out of the shotgun. Flag down. Glennon's pass, and incomplete, intended for Robert Haran, the rookie from Wyoming. Carl Sheffers will explain the penalty.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 32 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Costly penalty for the Saints, gives the Bucs a first down, as Kenny Vaccaro, the number 1 pick last year out of Texas, called for the flag, and a new life for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, this is a point of emphasis this year in the NFL, hands to the face. This was always something that the defense kind of got away with, getting that hand underneath the helmet. But Kenny Vaccaro, they're calling that this year. That's a bad play on a 3rd down, could have got the Saints off the field.
We saw Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator. He's been a little under fire here, and we'll see what happens there. And Martin is going to be knocked back for a big loss of about 5 yards, thanks to Cameron Jordan, the right end. Great penetration by Vaccaro, trying to make up for that penalty, and with a minute gone, a big defensive play, a loss of 5 for the Saints here.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Cam Jordan right before the game. One thing he told me was, look, last week wasn't good enough. We got beat up front. We have to be more physical, and we got to be physical at the point of attack, though. And that's what you see with Cam Jordan, Kenny Vaccaro. Much more solid tackling today than they did a week ago.
Well, that's what you said at the outset. How does this team get it right? That's the start of it. 2nd down and 15. Ball back at the 25. And there's Glennon getting a pass rush. And this one is incomplete, thrown out of bounds, intended for Murphy. So it'll be 3rd and long coming up now for the Buccaneers.
Keem Nicks coming off the edge on the last play. This is a big man. If you put a running back, Doug Martin, Bobby Rainey, he's going to eat through that running back. You have to have pass protection first before you're able to get out in the route. When you see Doug Martin in the football game right here, he's protecting first, then sort of as an outlet to Mike Glennon if the throw is not there.
3rd and 15, and Glennon under siege, and the pass incomplete. And Doug Martin had to get it out of his hands in a hurry. Great pressure by many of the Saints, led by Glenn Foster, number 97.
Well, I talk about the pressure, but it's all about where Doug Martin is, because if you read pressure, who's the outlet? Who's the guy that you dump the ball to? That's Mike Glennon's safety net, Doug Martin, because the pressure's right there in the face. Rob Ryan dialing it up like he loves to. He wants to come after Mike Glennon, his young quarterback, and you see the result.
Well, that's the check down guy. So Michael Kanan will be kicking to Tavares Cadet. It's a short kick. Cadet will call for the fair catch at the 39. So once again, Drew Brees has pretty decent field position here. So far, the Saints have had to settle for field goals. You don't want to give them too many opportunities, however, as we all know.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the first ever MKC. By Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. And by Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
Good view of Jackson Square, one of the highlights of the quarter in New Orleans. Always packed with visitors, huh?
I grabbed a couple beignets yesterday, Dick. I wasn't supposed to tell you that, but I did.
Did you exceed 5?
I stopped at 4.
Boy, you've got discipline.
5-1.
First down. I stopped at 2 from the 40-yard line. And here is Breeze with the handoff to Robinson and a loss of 1.5 yards. And let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, October 1st marked the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this month means a lot to many people, but in particular, Bucs receiver Louis Murphy wearing pink cleats, pink gloves today, and a tattoo on both arms that says Mama's Heart. He lost his mother, Philomena Murphy, in 2008 when he was just a senior in college to breast cancer. Told me this month means so important to him and important to bring the awareness to the fight against breast cancer.
All right, thank you, Christina. 2nd down and 11, and Drew Brees getting some time, and he lost his pass, and it's caught by Josh Hill. Josh Hill, a backup tight end, 3rd string tight end, unlikely target, and a big gain for Hill of 36 yards, and the Saints get to the 24 of the Buccaneers.
When you get quarterbacks that go through their progressions, you watch Drew. He looks at 1, looks at 2, and he throws to his last outlet all the way on the outside. Josh Hill. That's a quarterback being patient and waiting for something to open up. Josh Hill on the sideline for the big play for the Saints offense.
And very quietly, he has caught 2 touchdown passes already. And now that was his 5th catch of the year. Brees trying to make sure that Ben Watson lines up in the right place. And finally, we'll have a timeout. By the way, Saints owner and vice chairman of the board, Rita Benson LeBlanc, along with Thomas Morstead, were to be honored, and they were September 29th at the Susan G. Komen New Orleans 2nd annual Kick That event with local breast cancer survivors. Well, the Saints calling the timeout. They couldn't get lined up right, and so far Drew Brees has 3 big plays: Colston, Graham, and Hill. And now Saints trying to get into the end zone, leading 6-0, a 1st down at the 24, and there's a pass to Cooks. And Cooks getting about 7.
Look, before a game, you watch Drew Brees out pregame. What is he doing? He's going through his progression. He's not throwing the football, but he's still going through his progressions, looking left, looking right. I talked to Mike Glennon about this. I said, what is it about Drew Brees that you love seeing? He said, look, he loves to manipulate with his eyes. I like the way he does that. I want to put that in my game, in my arsenal.
He doesn't stare down a receiver, does he ever?
No, not at all.
2nd down and 4.
52 special. Mike 29 right.
Cadet now moves into the slot. The running back is in the slot to the left for Brees, and Brees gets hit, and the shuffle pass is thrown behind, incomplete to Cadet, who was the intended receiver there. And another penalty marker is thrown, and an injured Saints player as well, and that'll be Zach Streif, the veteran right tackle.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 31 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Critical play, penalty against Major Wright. And that will give the Saints a new set of downs. And Bryce Harris, number 79, is going in to replace Streif at right tackle.
That was one of the things I was wondering before the football game. Major Wright starting in place of Deshaun Goldson. Would Drew Brees try to manipulate his eyes on a guy like Major Wright, who hasn't been in there too much this season?
Late entry on the defensive group was Dane Fletcher, and here is Robinson trying to go on the right side, slowed up, and Fletcher actually slowed him down, and Lansana made the tackle, and there'll be a loss of 2 yards that time for the Saints, bringing up 2nd and 12.
We talk about population to the football. That's getting guys there. You see Golston, you see Fletcher, you see David, you see Lanasaw, you see the whole, all the red shirts right by the football. That's called gang tackling, population at the football. That's called good team defense.
And that's how Lovie Smith gets turnovers.
Yes. Get a bunch of guys around the football.
2nd down and 12 from the 15. Saints have had trouble getting into the end zone. They have that 2 field goal lead. And here's Drew Brees into the end zone and unable to hold on as Colston was well defended, however, in the end zone by Lansana and Mark Barron. And it was Gerald McCoy, who's been quiet so far, one of the premier defensive linemen, Pro Bowler, putting the pressure on Brees for the first time.
Yeah, but Drew Brees puts this football where only Marcus Colston can get it. Almost brings the ball down. You see 3 defenders trying to guard this route right around, we call it a post, or a right around the down middle. And so what Drew Brees does is throws it to an area and lets Marcus go get it.
Zach Strief returns to right tackle. 3rd down and 12. Here's pressure on Brees, and he dumps it off to Pierre Thomas. Thomas gets the first down and the touchdown. What quick thinking by Drew Brees, and the Saints offense under pressure gets it to Thomas, who does the rest. And what a block by Brandon Cooks, the rookie wide receiver. You love receivers who can block, and Brandon Cooks sent a big one there to free Thomas for the 15-yard reception and the touchdown.
The perfect play call right down there in the red zone. You have an overzealous defense, aggressive, getting off the football, trying to get after the quarterback. What do? You sneak in Pierre Thomas. Nice little screen pass right behind the defensive line, and kind of ace the offensive line escorts him to the end zone.
Shane Graham for the extra point. And it is now 13-0 New Orleans, and Drew Brees has thrown a touchdown pass now in 24 consecutive games.
Today's game is sponsored by The Judge from Warner Brothers Pictures, in theaters October 10th.
Jimmy Graham walking off into the locker room. He's been the victim of a couple of hits so far in this game. Saints lead it 13-0. Morstead will be kicking off, and Solomon Patton looking to return this. Patton. Looks like one of the Saints trying to grab the ball out of his hands, to no avail. That was Josh Hill, by the way.
One thing before a snap, you look at Pierre Thomas right here. He knows it's a blitz coming. He sticks his hand out, and when he sticks his hand out, he's letting that rusher, who's Leonard Johnson, know that he's got him in protection. So Leonard Johnson comes underneath, and what does Pierre Thomas? Give him the old okey doke and goes out for a screen pass, which he's wide open for, and he's got receivers out front for an easy touchdown. That's locating before the play. Just that little manipulation got him free for a touchdown.
By the way, Brees has the NFL record 54 consecutive with a touchdown pass, but now the Bucs trail by 13, and Glennon's pass is going to be caught for the first down at the 45, and getting away is Vincent Jackson. And Jackson picks up about 8 more yards, gets into Saints territory. So a gain of 31 yards. Hawthorne finally brings him down, and they want to get the ball to Vincent Jackson. He's been their ace.
This isn't college anymore, Dick. When you get down to the ground, you got to hustle over there and tag a guy down. Vincent Jackson, very alert, gets up, gets some extra yards, and gets this Tampa Bay team right now on the verge of getting to the red zone. This is early on, but this is how they kind of scored it. That's how they started last week in Pittsburgh, getting into the red zone early on.
Hand off to Bobby Rainey, who's come in the game, and he gets about a yard. Well, on Saturday, 2 of the nation's top quarterbacks collide in Pac-12 showdown. Marcus Mariota and Oregon looks to bounce back as they take on Brett Hundley and UCLA. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Arizona shocking Oregon last week.
Yeah, a lot of shockers yesterday. A lot of them.
2nd down and 9. From the 43, Glennon, and Glennon's going to go up top. And the pass is intercepted by Patrick Robinson. Lewis Murphy, and it was kind of a rainbow throw that time by Glennon, and Patrick Robinson out-battled Murphy for the interception. Former starter demoted, but healthy now. And he makes a big interception, and it is the first interception of the year for the New Orleans Saints, believe it or not, in Week 5.
Creating turnovers, sometimes they just happen. But Patrick Robinson locates the football, and it makes an incredible play. That's an over-the-shoulder catch. That's almost Willie Mays-esque right there, where he's know where his receiver is, but he's able to adjust his body to get the interception. That's a terrific play for a team thirsty for turnovers. It's a good job. You see Rob Ryan there patting him on the back. I can tell you Rob Ryan excited about that. His team getting turnovers and getting this offense. Drew Brees and this offense extra possessions.
They were -6 in the turnover ratio, tied with the Jets for last in the league. No picks. Only one turnover. Now they got another one. They'll start from the 4-yard line. And here is Drew Brees, and on the pass completes to Josh Hill. And Hill picking up 7.5 yards on first down.
That's Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator, talking with Mike Glennon. And when we talked with Marcus Arroyo, the one thing that he said was, look, I'm learning Mike Glennon just as much as Mike Glennon is learning me. So this is a process that they're going through week in and week out. In every game, they feel like they get better. In each play, they've gotten better. But that was a bad play, bad throw by Mike Glennon.
And an injured player is Jonathan Goodwin. Of course, Marcus Arroyo taking over the play calling duties. Jeff Tedford unable to do so. Timeout. Here's Jonathan Goodwin, former 49er who had a high ankle sprain 2 weeks ago, played all of the minutes against Dallas. Missed some practice this week with a neck injury. He's been replaced by Tim Lelito, number 68. And it'll be 2nd and 2 for the Saints.
Ready. United by side.
Hand off to Kyrie Robinson. He'll get the first down. Trying to hold on, but to no avail was Mark Barron. And it'll be a first down for the Saints, who started from the 4 after the interception.
I like when New Orleans gets into what I call decisive runs, where Kyrie Robinson, there's no thinking. It's just downhill, hit the hole, and try to get to the outside, but get through the middle of the defense first. And that's a recipe for success in the run game when you have an offensive line as experienced as the New Orleans Saints do.
Who have gained nearly 8 yards a play. Bryce Harris back in for Armstead at left tackle for the Saints. It'll be a first down.
I got it. Ready. You ready for shot?
One fake by Brees, goes underneath, wide open is Pierre Thomas. He'll have the first down, and Thomas fighting his way close to the 30-yard line. Levante David finally making the tackle, not before his pickup of 14.
It's just do your job, and Drew Brees was preaching that to us this week with the guys on offense. Just do your job, meaning that you run your route, and I will pick it. I'm not going to press. I'm not going to try to take shots that aren't there. If the defense gives you a 5-yard check down, you take the 5-yard check down and turn the 5 yards into 10 yards, into 12 yards. First down, New Orleans Saints.
Just under 7 minutes to go in the half, and they go again to Kyrie Robinson, trapped and finally brought down. This time they make it stick, and a loss on the play. It was Gerald McCoy who penetrated, and the Saints lose 4 as a result.
Well, we saw the decisive run earlier. This is a run that is not going to affect a Tampa Bay defense like this. Gerald McCoy, number 93, he's a guy that gets up the field. So if you don't run right at him, he's going to make sure that ball gets turned in every time. That's not a recipe for success if you want to run against the Tampa Bay defense.
So Teron Armstead back in there. Lelito remains the center in for Goodwin on 2nd and 13. Quickly out to Cooks. They want to get into the hands of Cooks, and that was a good defensive play that time by Tampa Bay. Mark Barron, he's been very active in this first half, not only defending Jimmy Graham, who went into the locker room, but all over the field against this wide receiver who's holding on a bit to his right hand.
When I watch the Tampa Bay defense on tape, you see 54, you see 23. Mark Barron, Levante David, these guys are always around the football. Levante David, one of the young linebackers in the NFL, wearing that C on his chest, the captain of that defense, always around the football.
Like they have in hockey, right? 3rd down and 10. Empty backfield for Brees. He doesn't mind. He's going to go deep, and he has a receiver down there, and the defender and the receiver both slip. And around the 30, Robert Meacham and Major Wright both fell down. And it's time for a game break. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, let's go to Carolina, and Alshon Jeffrey from 25 yards out. Will you believe this? The high-powered Chicago offense, that's their first touchdown this year of over 20 yards. They take a 21-7 lead over Carolina. Back to you, Dick.
All right, that is surprising. Joel, thank you very much. So good news for the other teams in the NFC South. Morstead kicking it away to Solomon Patton, running up and on the run, takes it at the 35. Solomon Patton still on his feet and finally put down at the 43-yard line. So the Saints lead it 13-0. The Buccaneers right now are saying we've got to get some points before the half is over. A lot of family ties in this game. Brandon Dixon and Brian, the 9th set of twins to face each other. Brandon's 7 minutes older than Brian, and they're going up against each other, both cornerbacks in the game. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we'll have more on that story, have their deepest penetration so far in this game with 5:18 to go in the half. It'll be first down on their own 44. See if Mike Glennon and company can generate some offense to get back in this. Plenty of time on the play clock. Glennon quickly to the outside, caught by Vincent Jackson, and he gets a first down to the 44. More on the Dixon twins. Here's Christina.
Well, Dick, you know there's a first time for everything. The Dixon twins have played together their entire lives. The rookies from Pompano Beach, Florida, facing each other for the first time. I spoke to them pregame, and what do you know? I found them together during pregame warmups, and they both said it's weird to be facing each other on other teams, but they did say if there's one difference, that Brian is the trash talker of the bunch.
Wow. That's a surprise. First down after the gain, and tipped and incomplete, trying to get it to Vincent Jackson again. 12-yard play before this one. They're the parents of the Dixons, Deborah and Ronnie Dixon.
I wonder which team each one goes for. You know, does one go for New Orleans? Does one go for Tampa Bay? You know, or is it just I just go for my kids? Which one?
Oh, today they're wearing pink for breast cancer awareness, so I'm not sure. Probably will say we want them both to be healthy,
exactly.
Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
2nd and 10 on the 44 of New Orleans. Glennon getting rushed, gets rid of it, and it is caught by Murphy, and Murphy is stopped 1.5 yards shy of the first down by Patrick Robinson. So Lewis Murphy, who led the Bucs with 6 catches for 99 yards, all in the second half last week, including a big 41-yard grab in the waning seconds to set up the game winner to Jackson.
Lewis Murphy, a former teammate of mine when I was with the Oakland Raiders. Here's a guy that should have made the 53-man roster. Lovie Smith said he earned a spot on the roster, but was injured in the preseason, and they had to release him right before the season started.
3rd down and 1. And here's Doug Martin, and Martin will have a first down. Looks like Tampa Bay has a few of those guys who were late cuts who came back and have helped this team.
They had a rash of injuries early on. Talk about the first 2 weeks of the season. Remember, you lose Adrian Claiborne on defense. Safarian Jenkins, the tight end, was out for a couple games with the ankle injury. And Lovie Smith is just telling his guys, no matter what, it's next man up. Let's go back to work. We'll get this thing fixed. We'll get healthy. And they seem to be playing a lot better than they were in the first couple of weeks.
Here's Glennon, and Glennon's pass, and caught if the feet are in bounds, and they were to Lewis Murphy. So Murphy and Glennon coming up with some plays here. Corey White on defense here.
Personal foul, face mask, number 87, offense.
And they're going to bring it back.
15.
Austin Safarian Jenkins,
down.
2nd-round pick from Washington, and he's had his problems holding on to the ball, and a huge penalty here, a face mask call that will nullify a 16-yard completion to Murphy.
These are the things that you just cannot have happen. Here's Safarian Jenkins right here on the outside, and doesn't get his feet all the way down, set inside, hold the face mask. That's a bad penalty. This is what Marcus Arroyo talked about. The Bucs can't beat the Bucs. And this is a penalty where the Buccaneers are beating the Buccaneers. Bad play, bad penalty, wipes out a huge play for that offense.
No team can afford that. And here's Bobby Rainey with a couple of yards. It was Paris Harrelson who had his face mask grabbed, and Bush stopping Bobby Rainey. So far today, the Buccaneers have rushed
Second charge, timeout,
for only
New Orleans.
21 yards, and timeout is called by New Orleans, and they have 1 left with 2:52 on the clock. Well, Fox tonight is no ordinary night. It's Sunday Fun Day with all new episodes of your favorite comedies leading into the series premiere of Mulaney. It all starts at 7:30, 6:30 Central tonight on Fox. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers knew it was going to be a very tough task coming in here. They have not beaten the Saints in New Orleans since the final game of the 2010 series. That was in January of 2011. And they're really hurting their own cause with some of these penalties here. 2nd and 24 from the 47 of New Orleans. Glennon flips it down to Rainey. And Rainey charging his way to the 37 for a gain of 10. Curtis Lofton brings him down. Bucs still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
This offensive line starting to come together a little bit. Where in the earlier in the season, Logan Bacon's a guy who they got in a trade. There are a lot of question marks on this offensive line. But as they remain healthy for the last couple of weeks, starting to come together. You saw a nice clean pocket for Mike Glennon, and he's able to read it and get a check down and get positive yards.
I think they've done a good job so far.
Yes,
they haven't been able to run the ball, but that's been their problem all year. Now it's 3rd and 14. If nothing else, get closer to field goal range. Here it's Glennon, and he's going deep. And the pass is juggled incomplete. Intended for Robert Huron, and it was Corey White who knocked it away. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 4th down. And Patrick Murray, who kicked a 50-yarder, is the rookie from Fordham. In the wind, now kicking indoors, a 55-yard field goal attempt. Trying to put Tampa Bay on the board. And his kick is good. Big kick by Patrick Murray. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally score. And now trailed by a score of 13-3. And Lovie Smith's team finally scores, but what we've seen so far is that Drew Brees has had a lot of tries here, and they finally dented the end zone, got the touchdown, but the Tampa Bay Bucs seem to be shooting themselves in the foot with penalties on both sides of the ball. Otherwise, they'd be even closer than this.
Well, it's penalties and drop passes. I mean, stalling drives that look to be successful, and it's a penalty. Or it's the drop pass. And so far what we're seeing is that even though the New Orleans Saints offense is getting the yards, they're not getting touchdowns. I see 2 or 3 missed touchdowns out there on the field today. If they got those early on, this could be a different ball game than what we're seeing right now.
And I don't think Drew Brees is really happy with his offense.
No, not at all. If you're Drew Brees, one thing you tell, he's a perfectionist. He wants to be on all cylinders. And right now, he's been off just a little bit on the deep passes, but he has connected early on with Jimmy Graham, with Marcus Colston. Probably see more of that in the second half.
Brees 15 of 22 for 201 yards and a touchdown. And Cadet out of the end zone. And the Saints will get it at the 20. Well, halftime is coming up shortly. And to check what's coming up, let's join Kurt Menefee.
All right, coming up on the Visa halftime, we'll check in on the Battle of Texas down in Dallas. The Steelers look to rebound against the winless Jags, and the Ravens try to make it 4 in a row as they face the Colts. All that and more when we get back to work on the Visa halftime.
So Drew Brees breaking the huddle. 8 different receivers have caught passes. Pierre Thomas with 3 leads the parade, and Brees' pass broken up, and a good play made by Lansana on Tavares Cadet. The flag is down at about the time that the receiver and the defender made contact.
Pass interference, number 51 defense, automatic, first down.
So Danny Lansana, who has the only interception, by the way, on the Buccaneers and plays in nickel, called for the pass interference, and it'll be a first down.
Always one of the tough plays to make is that Texas route that we call by the running back, trying to get it underneath.
From the 26, and a tip and nearly a pick by Alteron Werner of Brandon Cooks going down the sidelines. We have an injury update. Let's join Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, Saints tight end Jimmy Graham noticeably absent from that last offensive drive, still not on the field for this one. He is back in the locker room getting that right shoulder x-ray. The medical staff has been attending to that shoulder ever since that hit from Levante David. I am told he's probable to return.
Thank you, Christina. So Drew Brees doesn't have his #1 receiver, goes underneath and completes it to his second tight end, Ben Watson, who picks up the first down out to the 38-yard line. Gain of 12, nearly a minute and a half to go, and only one timeout left for the Saints.
That's just too easy. You don't let the tight end get 10 yards down the field. Nobody touches them. They're too easy.
Brees will try to get it, and let's see. It may be picked off, and it is. An interception by Banks. Jonathan Banks with the interception. Out battling Tavares Cadet for the ball, and the Buccaneers get it back. And as you know, they will review all turnovers. Gerald McCoy making it difficult for Drew Brees on that pass play.
Yeah, that's probably a throw that Drew wants to have back. Look at the pressure up front first. Drew Brees sets his feet, sees too much pressure coming up. Gerald McCoy almost gets him. Let's go at that football. I think if you're Drew Brees, you got to hold on to the ball, but you know you don't take a sack in the 2 minute. But I think in that situation, it's probably okay to take a sack instead of throwing the football out to where a guy like Jonathan Banks, just waiting for it, jumps on that play. Now you're in business at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
McCoy very nearly got to him, Kirk, and Banks really with great strength there getting the ball back. They'll review it, and if it is an interception, it'll be the 5th by Brees this year. Make it the 4th. So now a first down and an opportunity with 1:21 to go and 3 timeouts left. And a completion inside the 25 by Vincent Jackson with Keenan Lewis all over him. And a pickup of 17 yards. And the time winding down to the 1 minute mark.
There's no panic right here. No panic if you're Tampa Bay. You have all 3 timeouts. You can run your offense. And that's what you see. You see them come out of the huddle and relax. You got 3 timeouts. Call a good play and execute.
First down from the 23. Lennon looking left, throwing left, and he's got Jackson, who breaks away. His forward progress, I think, was farther up than where they may mark it. Let's see what they do. Raphael Bush.
First charge timeout, Tampa Bay.
And now the Buccaneers call their first timeout. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. And Mike Glennon over on the sidelines. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 23. There's Mike Glennon. He's the first rookie in NFL history to throw a touchdown pass in his first 8 starts. And he's really impressed. Kind of went by the boards out of North Carolina State. No one really talked much about him. Came in as a rookie last year and performed superbly for a team that lost most of its games.
But I want to see him take a shot at the end zone here. You know, kind of take the reins off. Take a shot at the end zone. You got the tight end up top by himself.
And they go underneath to Rainey, and Rainey makes the catch inside the 20. Curtis Lofton is there. Under a half a minute to go. And still 2 timeouts. And now the Bucs will call their second timeout. And left with 25 seconds. Big interception. Can the Bucs make it pay off?
Well, you see Gerald McCoy getting the penetration that you need, getting Drew Brees off the spot. And that's what we saw last week in the Dallas game, is that when you get Drew Brees off the spot, or what we call changing his launch pad, where he throws the football, these are the kind of throws that you get. Throws that are a little bit off the mark. This is an offense about timing and precision. And there Jonathan Banks picks off a ball that Drew Brees, I felt, should have held on.
4th pick of the year for Brees, and I think Tampa Bay is really putting some pressure on him, making it uncomfortable for him.
As you saw last week, this is what they want to do, Tampa Bay. Get the pressure on the outside and make the quarterback step up in the pocket. Gerald McCoy almost been a benefactor of that, getting a sack.
And now the Saints will call their final timeout. So they are out of timeouts. Sean Payton and Rob Ryan over on the sideline. It'll still be 3rd down and 7 from the 20.
If you're over in that huddle with Tampa Bay, you say, do you take a shot at the end zone? I think you already have points already, but you got to take a shot at the end zone. You got to score points if you're Tampa Bay, because New Orleans, they've already got, their plays already, meaning they've already got their touchdown. It's time for you to get your touchdown. Not check downs, not screen passes. This is where you go after. You get Vincent Jackson, Austin Seferian-Jenkins involved right now.
But you don't want to miss the opportunity to get 3 and make it a 1-touchdown game going into the second half. Third and 7, Seferian-Jenkins lining up in the slot. And here is Glennon going into the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Louis Murphy with the grab, and a flag is down. Penalty marker on the 15-yard line. So let's wait to see. So far we've seen the Bucs' big plays have been nullified because of penalties.
Pass holding. Number 24 defense.
And it will go as a touchdown as Corey White was holding, and a 20-yard touchdown pass. Louis Murphy on the receiving end from Mike Glennon, and of course they'll review this touchdown as well.
1 foot, 2 foot. Looks like a touchdown to me.
You get a better view here.
1 foot down, 2nd foot down, touchdown. I mean, that's just Mike Glennon taking a shot at the end zone, which I wanted him to do. Hey, no more check down, no more screen
pass. Ruling on the field is a touchdown. That ruling is under review.
They're reviewing it, but one thing about Mike Glennon, the question is, would Tampa Bay take advantage of that turnover and get points? Well, they could have gotten 3, and they ended up with 7 if it goes after the review. And it just reinforces what Mike Glennon has meant to this team, taking him down on the road last week in Pittsburgh at the end to win the game, and coming back here.
When we visited with Mike Glennon, the biggest thing I took for him and what he said was, I make the most of my opportunity. And here's an opportunity where you're in the red zone and you take a shot at the end zone. And he put the football where only Louis Murphy can grab it, where the defender has to make a great play. But your receiver, Louis Murphy, catches it at its highest point, makes a terrific play by getting both feet down. He has catch, looks like possession, 1 foot, 2nd foot down. That looks to be good to me. It looks like a touchdown to me.
Might have even had a 3rd foot down, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Louis Murphy, I told you, the guy who I played with before, such an emotional player. I said that he actually plays the wide receiver position like a defensive back, like a defensive player.
That's a good thing.
Because he plays with the passion, the energy, and, Lovie Smith was just raving about him, saying, look.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown, and the Buccaneers with an extra point could climb within 3 points with 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Lovie was raving about Louis Murphy, his big playability, but also how he's come back to this football team after missing the first couple weeks because he wasn't on the team. Remember, he stayed nearby and he stayed healthy.
And Mike Evans, very impressive rookie, out with a groin injury, and he had been the leading receiver on this team. So Murphy has come up big when they've needed him the most. And here's Patrick Murray. And it is now 13-10. The Saints in front with 20 seconds remaining. And the interception by Jonathan Banks, setting up the big touchdown here by the Buccaneers. Only the 2nd pick of the season by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you just keep looking at that interception by Drew Brees, and it cost the New Orleans Saints points right there. Tampa Bay right back in this football game now. Lovie Smith keeps preaching it to his guys. Look, we got to believe, guys. We're close, but we have to make the plays when they're there. And that was a big play by Jonathan Banks.
One thing we don't know what will transpire, obviously, in the second half. But one thing we do know, that the New Orleans Saints didn't come out today after getting whipped soundly by Dallas on Sunday night and really taking it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We don't know what the game will be at the end, but they haven't done it, at least for a half.
It's those drives that ended in field goals instead of touchdowns. And if you're Drew Brees, that's the first thing. If we ask him right now, he'll tell us, we got to convert those drives into touchdowns, because this could be a 21-10 ball game. Instead, it's 13-10, probably going into halftime.
Tavares Cadet and kicking out of the end zone, and Drew Brees has 20 seconds to go. No timeouts. He's got something up his sleeve to perhaps, well, to get it into field goal range, they're going to have to charge up that field in a hurry to clock the ball.
Yeah, when you see the head coach take his headsets off, I think he's, look, we're going to go in at halftime and regroup.
That's it. That's what's going to be. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to feel good, really good about themselves after Patrick Murray kicked the 55-yard field goal. Longest of his rookie year, and Mike Glennon hitting Lewis Murphy with the 20-yard touchdown pass following the turnover to make this one really close. So the game's still up for grabs in this NFC South battle. Halftime, Saints lead the Bucs 13-10. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report, which starts now. And the score is 13-10 at halftime. Getting ready for the start of the third quarter, and today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. Drew Brees becoming the 7th player with one team to surpass 40,000 passing yards. So the late flurry by the Buccaneers, Kirk, moves them to within 3. Who's going to take hold here in the third quarter? The big question.
You know what? It's just about finishing. And if you talk to both teams, they'll tell you it's about finishing, because in weeks 1 and 2 on both teams, think about New Orleans Saints. They're one possession, one play away against Atlanta and Carolina. You look at the Tampa Bay against Carolina, St. Louis. Who can finish? That's what I want to see.
And, of course, the Buccaneers won the toss and they deferred, so they get the ball now. They did a good job stopping Brees in the first possession. So we'll see what happens here as Solomon Patton will take the knee, and the Bucs will start at the 20. Glennon 10 of 19 for 120 yards. With a touchdown, the big one, the 20-yarder to Murphy with 20 seconds to go to bring them to within 3. Also has thrown in interception. You look at the overall numbers, they haven't been able to run that much. The Buccaneers only 14 rushing yards. Vincent Jackson in motion to the left. The running back, Doug Martin, nothing there. Christina Pink, what do you have?
Thanks, Dick. Well, Lovie Smith told me at halftime my team has been in this situation before. He told me Mike Glennon got confidence after that win in Pittsburgh, and he got more confidence in his system, especially after the way they ended that first half. He also said that initially they gave Drew Brees too many dinks and dunks on offense, but he wants to see them remedy that here in the second half. On the Saints side, I am still waiting for an update on Jimmy Graham, but he did not come out of the locker room with the team. I'll give you more information when I have it.
Thank you, Christina. Big loss if that's the case. Second down and 9. Pressure on Glennon. Gets rid of it. And making the low catch just for a yard was Doug Martin. Corey White was right there. Pickup of 1 yard on the play. So it'll be 3rd and long coming up for Tampa Bay.
Conservative coming out a little bit. You know, you run the football once, you don't get big yardage, and a check down to Doug Martin. Now you're set up to a 3rd and long situation, 3rd and 8. Forcing your young quarterback to have to make a play, or else you'd be almost punting the football inside your own 20.
Well, confidence issue, which Christina talked about, which you talked about earlier after last week, is apparent with Glennon. Glennon with his pass, and it's incomplete. And a battle going on between Austin Seferian-Jenkins and Raphael Bush. And a penalty.
Roughing the passer, they call. I think it was on Junior Gillette with a slap to the head at the end. Something we barely saw. We were looking downfield at Seferian-Jenkins. He's asking for a flag, but if that's the way you pick up a first down, it keeps the drive alive. Tampa Bay. I mean, you're off the field if you're New Orleans Saints, but a penalty.
Well, Jenkins and White were battling for the ball. I didn't see a penalty there, but Junior Gillette with the roughing the passer. So first down now at the 37. Let's see how the Bucs respond to that. And here's Glennon going underneath to Doug Martin, and Martin getting away. Look at that juke by Martin, and another flag is down. So a missed tackle by David Hawthorne, and let's see if that 20-yard gain sticks.
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 24 defense.
And it's on Corey White.
Result of the play.
They decline it.
First down.
So a 20-yard check down to Doug Martin, and now the Buccaneers in Saints territory.
This is what I'm used to seeing from Doug Martin, a healthy Doug Martin. You get him out in space, just get him the football and let him make a couple guys miss.
Amazing, they didn't run the ball all that well last week in one. They only have 15 rushing yards so far and are trailing by only 3. First down at the 43. Here's Martin. Looks like he's trapped. And he gets something out of nothing, and another penalty flag is down.
Starting to get a little sloppy so far in this second half. We're seeing a lot of flags on the ground. But sometimes the run game may not be there, and I think the check down almost is like a run play.
There's no foul for tripping on the play. Second down.
They just wanted to throw the yellow flag. You know, they're so used to it.
Right.
Let's just throw it down there even though there's no penalty. Tongue-in-cheek. Christina down on the sideline.
I've just received an update on Jimmy Graham. Drew Brees will be without his favorite target for the rest of this game. Jimmy Graham has been ruled out with that right shoulder injury. He is still back in the Saints locker room. They also have two additional players who are not coming back to this game. Center Jonathan Goodwin and linebacker Raymond Humber. Those two are both out. Goodwin, it's a knee injury, and Humber, it's an ankle injury.
Wow, thank you, Christina. Those big losses there for the Saints. Second down and 7. And there is the screen pass to Martin. And Martin taking advantage of it, should have the first down. And Hawthorne with a good block that time by Logan Mankins, the former Patriot, and the left guard, gaining 9 yards.
I was talking earlier, Dick, about the running game not being there right now. What's the recipe in the running game to get this running game started for Tampa Bay? If it's not there, what's the next best thing? And to me, it seems the check down, the screen play. At least you're getting the ball to Doug Martin. He's still getting his touches, but in a different way. And so far, it seems to be successful starting this half.
Keenan Lewis now, the cornerback, starting cornerback, whose job was to shadow Vincent Jackson, is out of the game. He's taken out. So all of a sudden, injuries to the Saints, as Christina had mentioned, Jonathan Goodwin and Jimmy Graham, two of the important offensive people. Now Patrick Robinson is going in to play cornerback. He has an interception already today. And it's a first down and 10 for Tampa Bay on the Saint 32. First possession here of this third quarter. Glennon. And he's got Jackson. And Jackson with a first down going down the sidelines and ridden out of bounds. And they'll mark it inside the 10-yard line. So Corey White missed a tackle there. And a huge gain of 23.
You know, last week against the Dallas Cowboys, Corey White was matched up against Terrence Williams. Terrence Williams caught 2 touchdowns last week. If you're Tampa Bay, you saw that, and you're going to go right after Corey White again.
And a touchdown for Bobby Rainey. Bobby Rainey goes in for the touchdown, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now boos emanate here in New Orleans. The fans not liking this performance so far for the Saints. Bobby Rainey with the score, and a flag is down, and of course they will always review the touchdown as well.
Probably a sportsmanlike conduct after the play.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct,
right.
Number 18 of the scoring team for inappropriate language. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Bobby Rainey with his first touchdown as a running back. He's caught a pass for a touchdown already today, and the unsportsmanlike conduct call.
Low tempo there from Tampa.
Lewis Murphy.
Low tempo there from Tampa. You get the big play to Vincent Jackson, and what do you get right back on the football, and you hand it off to Rainey. You talked about a lot of guys being out. Keenan Lewis goes out, and Ramon Humber goes out for New Orleans, and next thing you know, Tampa Bay just gets on the football and running for a touchdown.
So the 9-yard touchdown run giving the Bucs the 16-13 lead, trying to make it a 4-point lead with Patrick Murray. And the Buccaneers won the toss, deferred, stopped Breeze on the first possession, and then on their first possession, Rainey with a 9-yard touchdown after the pass to Vincent Jackson to set it up.
Without a heart, it's just a machine. By Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you KFC? And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Already talked about it. And we're back here in New Orleans, a 7-play, 80-yard drive. Rainey with the 9-yard touchdown run, the 23-yard pass to Vincent Jackson set it up. So the Buccaneers now with 17 unanswered points. And remember, they kept the ball because of the roughing the passer penalty called against the Saints. So Tampa Bay taking advantage of that penalty. And here is Tavares Cadet returning this kick that doesn't reach the end zone, and he gets past the 25.
Sometimes if you're a blocker, it's not about getting the guy out the way, it's just getting in the way. And that's what Austin Seferian-Jenkins just gets enough. Just gets enough of Paris Harrelson right in there. Bobby Rainey scoots his way. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, what he's meant to this offense is since he's returned from that ankle injury, he's not only been a threat in the passing game, but you see him getting involved in the run game.
Dropped the pass earlier in the game. But he's a big man to have, and here's Pierre Thomas, and Thomas bullying his way. That's physical play by the running back, and not the biggest one they have. And running up the middle and picking up 4 yards. Leonard Johnson making the tackle, and we have an injured Tampa Bay player. And that's going to be Major Wright, and that could be a major injury because Major Wright starting in place of Deshaun Golson, who was out. So now what do the Bucs do? And a tip pass, Levante David, the linebacker, on Breeze's attempt. On 2nd and 6, will bring up 3rd down and 6. Bradley McDougald, number 30, has replaced Major Wright, so they're down to their 3rd free safety are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they're thin in that position. McDougald in the 2nd year out of Kansas. 3rd down and 6, empty backfield, and Breeze in trouble. Throws it up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lansana, and Lansana will score. Danny Lansana with his 2nd interception of the year and goes in with the touchdown. A penalty flag is down.
Danny Lansana being in the right place at the right time.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, maybe the call coming in, and right now Drew Brees and Peyton Manning are really distressed over on that sideline.
Demonstration on the scoring team. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So they're going to enforce it on the kickoff. But the damage done here, Lansana with the interception. That's 2 that Brees has thrown in his own territory. And the Buccaneers have capitalized on touchdowns both times.
You see that excitement on the sideline for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a defensive play, a defensive score. That picks a team up. And Danny Lansana, just talking with Lovie Smith, the way that he's played over the last couple weeks, that's why he's starting right now.
33-yard return, Kirk, and now Patrick Murray on for the extra point, and the kick, they try to block this one. The kick is good, and so the Buccaneers now lead. And it's the pressure on Brees both times for the interceptions, and Lansana with a 2nd career interception return for a score, and the Bucs now lead by 11.
This game is sponsored by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile.
A stunned crowd here in New Orleans. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 14 points off of 2 takeaways. They were interceptions thrown by that man, Drew Brees. He has 2 interceptions in his last 3 passing attempts, and 24 unanswered points now for the Buccaneers. Cadet is back to receive the kickoff. This crowd is stunned. They were looking at a totally different scenario today as Cadet returns. And a good return by Cadet as Murray's kick, or Kanan's kick, did not get into the end zone.
Michael Johnson right here. This is what the same thing he did last week versus Pittsburgh. He last week knocks the ball out against last week knocks the ball out against Ben Roethlisberger. This week, Drew Brees, affecting the passer, and Drew Brees getting off the spot again, changing the launch pad. This time, an errant throw, Lansana to the end zone for a touchdown.
Last time Brees threw 2 interceptions in the game was last December against Carolina on the road. And the running play to Kyrie Robinson, and nothing doing on the play. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, new this season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. What a turn of events. And it started in the waning minutes of the 2nd quarter. You know, and you have to go back to those 2 series in which they had to settle for field goals. That could really come back to haunt New Orleans. We'll see, though. Plenty of time remaining, but they're down by 11. And here's Brees getting pressure again. Flush from the pocket. And his pass knocked away, incomplete, tipped away by Mark Barron. And another flag is down right around midfield. And the preliminary indication is it's a holding penalty against Tampa Bay. And that would mean an automatic first
Prior to
down.
the pass, holding. Number 29 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Leonard Johnson holding, and the Saints will get a first down at the 42, their own 42.
Right here, Leonard Johnson on with it, just not working his technique. You got to use the technique and don't panic. And when you panic, especially when the play's all the way on the other side, that's a penalty you don't need. You're giving a fresh set of downs to New Orleans.
Sure don't need it. And here is Brees. And the pass caught by Ben Watson. And another first down into Tampa Bay territory to the 45, picking up 13.
I mentioned not panicking. And when you look at Drew Brees, one thing that Sean Payton said the other day is that you don't know if they're down by 10 or if they're up by 10. Because Drew Brees is the same whether he's up or down. He's going to be in that huddle, be demanding. And this is a team that can come back from any deficit.
I've seen a little expression change from him in this game, though. Normally you don't see it. It'll be a first down at the 45 of the Bucs. Pierre Thomas now the back. And they're going to have it batted down at the line of scrimmage. And it was William Golston. Tell you, this is an inspired Buccaneer team. And, you know, their defense has been the strength of this club. But again, you got to go to what Mike Glennon has done. He has delivered when they've needed him to deliver, as it last week. And who knows what kind of confidence builder that was, Kurt.
Lovey's just telling these guys to believe. Believe in the system. Last week, it was validated by beating Pittsburgh. They're bringing that same kind of intensity this week to New Orleans.
On 2nd and 10, quick slant is into Brandon Cooks. And Cooks close to a first down. Well, with the Saints were leading 13-0 at one point in the 2nd quarter. And if things changed then, the Saints quieting down almost to a whisper while the Buccaneers have gone wild. And the 2 interceptions, both resulting in touchdowns for Lovie Smith's Bucs. But now it's 3rd and 1 for the Saints on the 36 of Tampa Bay. And it's the upback, Austin Johnson, and he gets the first down. Fullback Austin Johnson, who's playing in place of Eric Lorig, the former Buccaneer, who's out with an ankle injury.
See, now you get down into a point on the field where you're inside the 35-yard line. If I'm Tampa Bay, the first person I'm looking for is Jimmy Graham. Well, he's out of the football game he's out for the rest of the game. So who's going to be the big play guy down here in this red zone? I look at Marcus Colston and look at Brandon Cooks. These are the 2 guys I keep my eye on.
First down at the 34. And there's a quick toss, and it's complete to Watson. And Watson going heavily to the tight ends. as Watson has caught 3, Graham 2 while he was in the game, and Josh Hill with a couple.
Does the offense change with Watson in the game than Graham? Because 2 different type of tight ends. You know, Watson's a guy who works, you know, the 0 to 10 yards. And, you know, Graham is a guy that works across the middle and deep into the end zone.
2nd and 5. Now at the 29. And the give is to Robinson. Kyrie Robinson may have that first down. And he does inside the 25. Fletcher was there, and now they have to separate some of the players. And Mark Barron, no surprise. He's been an active, strong safety all game. They got 5 yards here.
Listen to this collision. It's starting to get a little physical down there. It's starting to get physical down there, running right at this defense. I said if you're New Orleans, you got to run directly through the teeth of the defense if you want to be successful.
8th play of the drive. And they're going to go with Cooks. Cooks started one way, went the other way on the receiving end, and ridden out of bounds by Jane Fletcher, short of the first down. So Cooks started to make a move as if it might be an end around and then reversed his direction.
This is the reason why I go to practice on Fridays and watch teams and see what's new in the game plan. I saw this exact play Friday at practice. New Orleans Saints ran this exact same play where Cooks acts like he's doing an end around and reverses pivot and comes back out. He's wide open, nobody there, makes one guy miss, almost picks up a first down. Big play in the red zone.
2nd down and 1. And here's the flip to Robinson. He's got the first down inside the 10 and goes out of bounds. Is that why you had that notebook and you were carefully writing down these plays Friday at practice? I was watching you. I'm saying, are you writing a novel there?
Yeah, but you had a mouthful of oysters while you were doing it. Hey,
I wish.
This is the reason why you watch practice, because it's the certain plays, and you know guys who they want to get the football to. This is Brandon Cooks. This is a guy, he's a punt returner. He's a wide receiver. Got a little running back in him as well. A game changer. That's why you get him the football.
Now it's 1st and goal at the 7. Let's see if they try to get it to him here. Saints badly in need of a score, and they give it to Cooks on the handoff, and Cooks gets to the 4-yard line. So they gave it to Brandon Cooks, a man for all plays and all seasons, and Leonard Johnson was there to bring him down. After getting 3 yards, it'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, I mentioned once they enter the red zone, remember Jimmy Graham is out. So if I'm on the Tampa Bay defense, I'm circling, where is this guy right here? That's Brandon Cooks, because he's going to get the football at some point, but it's how they get it to him. Got to keep a spy on him at all times.
There you see 47 total yards for Cooks. Cooks goes in motion, and they flip it to Cooks again. And here is Cooks looking for running room and finally tripped up. And a play by Levante David. And it would take a Levante David to bring down the speedy Brandon Cooks, the #1 pick from Oregon State, who, by the way, just turned 21 years of age. He gets a couple there. And now it'll be 3rd down and goal at the 5.
You mentioned if there's any linebacker, I think, in the NFL that can run with Brandon Cooks, it's number 54, Levante David. I mentioned him early in the game all over the field because he's physical, but he's smart.
Did they go to Cooks again? Did they go to the well again? Here's Breeze. And Breeze will get the touchdown to Travis Tavares Cadet. And he does a Junior Lambeau leap here in New Orleans. And if a team ever needed a score in this situation, in this game, it's the New Orleans Saints. Even though we have just about 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd.
No panic, no panic, no panic. That's the New Orleans Saints drive right there. Just go down, march. You saw run, you saw pass. We saw some trickery with Brandon Cooks. And then Cadet plays a little like Darren Sproles did last year. Nice little option route for the touchdown.
And his first touchdown of the year. Shane Graham with the extra point. And the Saints on this drive end a 24-point run by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And with under 5 minutes to go, it is now a 24-20 Buccaneers lead. Our scoring drive, 12 plays, 63 yards. Notice that Breeze didn't go deep on any play. And they went down the field, 6 for 7, 40 yards, but they got the job done. Brandon Cooks a big role, but Tavares Cadet getting the touchdown, and it's a 4-point Bucs lead. Solomon Patton, and he's going to run this one out. Here's Patton, and he is upended. Good special teams coverage by the Saints, led by Kyle Knox. So here's Mike Glennon, who has hit his last 8 in a row. Let's see what he does in response. What a turnaround for Mike Glennon in this game. It's his 2-for-8 start. We said has hit his last 8. The crowd is full throat here. First down at the 19 for the Bucs. Doug Martin. And Martin picks up a couple of yards on first down. Well, annual screening saves lives. Help finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever A Crucial Catch Day on October 25th. Many of the pink items being worn by players in this game will be up for auction at NFL.com/auction. Second down and 8. Here's Glennon. There's a completion at the 38 to Vincent Jackson. By the way, all net proceeds benefiting the American Cancer Society.
That's how you quiet a crowd down. You pick up the blitz and you throw it to your sure-handed wide receiver, the veteran Vincent Jackson, on Keenan Lewis. The matchup, another matchup I wanted to see in this football game.
Lewis, who was hurt, back in the game at cornerback, Kirk. Meanwhile, Jackson has 7 catches for 110 yards. He's been the best receiver in this game, and a first down for the Bucs at the 38. 24th time Jackson has gone over the 100-yard mark. Here is Martin. And Martin a yard. Keem Nicks was right in there for the Saints. So an ebb and flow game we have here in this battle between 1 and 3 teams in the NFC South. Only 1 game behind the leaders, Carolina 2-2 and Atlanta 2-2. Right now the Falcons early in the 4th lead by 3, and Carolina trails by 3 late in the 3rd.
This is what I expected. I expected this in the NFC South. This is the division game. Everybody knows the personnel on each team.
Yeah, they really know each other for years. Martin. And Martin gets the first down. What a great run, and it was Logan Mankins who set the block for Doug Martin, who picks up 11 yards on the play. And that is the longest rush of the game for the Buccaneers.
Logan Mankins, we talked about right before the season, Logan Mankins comes over in a trade. This is the reason why. Curtis Lofton, the big-time linebacker, but he's sealed off by Logan Mankins, finding enough room for Doug Martin to get all the way through there and up the field.
Logan Mankins, number 70.
I didn't like playing against him, I'll tell you that.
I don't blame you. Blame you one bit. And here is the fake end around, but watch the pressure. Ball knocked away, and the Saints have it. Junior Gallant comes up with it. And let's see if he had it. He looked like he lost it. He had a great chance for the interception and could not hold on to it. I think Glennon didn't realize he had a New Orleans defender right on his back when he spun around.
But there's a decision that needs to be made. Does he have control, though? Does Junior Gallant have control of the football? If not, that's an incomplete pass, and it goes back to where the ball was originally snapped from.
Yeah, he lost it before he went down, and it was Paris Harrelson, number 98.
The ruling on the field is the ball was intercepted by the defense and subsequently fumbled. That fumble was recovered by the offense. It'll be their ball at this spot, 1st and 10.
So they wrote he had possession.
And then fumbled.
And
then recovered by the Bucs.
That's a big loss.
That ruling is under review.
They got to take a look at that. I'm not sure that he had possession of the football. He started running, but I'm not sure he had both hands on the ball.
A wild play here, in which the ball was up for grabs.
You hear it, he's bobbling. He doesn't have possession yet. 1 foot, and ball's already out. Looks like no possession. You bring that ball back, I think to where it was originally snapped from.
Mike Pereira. Now, did Junior Galette have possession in your view?
Just like this on an interception. Did he have control? Yes. Did he get both feet? Yes. Down. But did he maintain control enough, long enough to perform an comment of the game, to pitch it, to do something with it? I don't think he did. I think you reverse this to an incomplete pass. The offense is going to end up with the ball anyways because they recovered what they ruled the fumble, but I don't think he completed the process.
Well, we kind of agree, Mike, and we'll see what they rule. Luke Stocker had recovered the fumble. If it was ruled a interception and a fumble.
Yeah, to me, it just looks like he didn't have possession the whole entire time. He got one hand on it, and as he exchanged it to the other hand, it looked like he lost control of the football. I think you bring it back to where it originally snapped from.
After review, the pass is incomplete. The defender never had possession of the ball. It will be 2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line. Please set the game clock to 2:04.
Mike, that was the ruling. What you thought?
Yeah, I think he did have possession of the ball. I don't like the announcement, but he didn't maintain control of the ball and didn't have possession long enough, and that's why they reversed it. That is the right decision.
Okay, but thank you, Mike.
You talk about that would have been a big loss for Tampa Bay. Here you are knocking on the door of a big drive, and that play could have changed the momentum of what we're seeing right now.
So the ball is in midfield. It'll be 2nd and 10. And Mike Glennon's streak of 8 completions in a row ends. Second and 10. Glennon fires it, and it's caught at the 40-yard line by Safarian Jenkins. Big catch by Jenkins, and the Bucs should have a first down here. Great protection Mike Glennon has had practically the entire game.
Yeah, you talk about the offensive line coming together, but then you have a running back who understands that he's got to pick up the blitzer coming over here. And what does he do? Puts his head down. Mike Glennon able to stand in there, stay poised, and deliver the football. That's a big-time blitz pickup by Doug Martin.
So a first down at the 39 for the Bucs. That's what you need a running back to do besides run and catch. Play action for Glennon. And he goes out. The pass is caught. Couple of yard gain to Martin. The flag is down with Hawthorne all over it.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Number 32 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
So Kenny Vaccaro with a second defensive penalty and another first down. Kurt Menefee with a game break.
The Dallas Cowboys putting a little distance between themselves and the Texans. Des Bryant, 4th straight game with a touchdown reception. That one 3 yards from Romo. Dallas now up by 10, approaching the 2-minute warning. Dick and Kirk.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. We have a wild game going on here in this NFC South battle. Tampa Bay leading by 4. First down at the 34, and the handoff is to Rainey, who's come into the game. And Rainey, maybe a yard at best. And we down to the final seconds of this third quarter.
We saw toward the end of the first half, Mike Glennon took a shot at the end zone. I think you do it again. You put the pressure on this New Orleans Saints defense in the back end to communicate without Jairus Byrd back there. They see if the communication is there. Take a shot.
Patrick Murray's already kicked a 55-yard field goal, so they know what he can do. Here comes the pressure on Glennon. Pass is caught, and Lewis Murphy gets a couple of extra yards inside the 30. Penalty flag back at the 42. This was a 6-yard gain.
To the face, number 73, offense.
That's a big one.
10-yard penalty.
Anthony Collins,
Repeat second down.
the left tackle. So they had the ball inside the 30, and now that'll be moved way back. 6 seconds remain in this third quarter.
It's the self-inflicted wounds that Marcus Arroyo, offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, were talking about. We can't beat ourselves, and those penalties on a positive play is what you cannot have.
And the time runs out, and that is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Buccaneers 24 and the Saints 20. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And the start of the fourth quarter, Dick Stockton, Burt Morrison, Christina Pink, Tampa Bay and New Orleans. It'll be 2nd down and 20 from the 44-yard line of New Orleans. After that penalty on the offense, here's Mike Glennon. Doesn't have to get it all back at once. Flush from the pocket. And now throwing it up in the air, and it's caught by Vincent Jackson. Boy, that looked like a risky throw in the middle of the field, but Vincent Jackson made the catch and a pickup of 34. And what great awareness for Mike Glennon right there.
I think I'll take the words from Rob Ryan, defensive coordinator of the Saints. Mike Glennon, he's better than you think, and he's quicker than you think. And right there, Mike Glennon showing his athleticism, getting out of the pocket and making a play when there was nothing there. Good job, Vincent Jackson, converting his route into a go route. Mike Glennon hitting him in stride.
And now it's 1st and goal for the Buccaneers. Can they answer the last touchdown by Drew Brees? Bobby Rainey, and Rainey getting less than a yard.
Well, first you got to look outside the pressure. Right here, Junior Gillette gets up the field. He misses. And so that gets Mike Glennon out of the pocket. And when he does, he keeps his eyes downfield. You teach quarterbacks to what? Keep your eyes downfield. You never know if somebody's going to convert a route. That was a good job getting the ball down the field. Vincent Jackson in stride, setting up an inside the 15-yard line.
An off-balance throw, and you got to be 6'6", 6'7", whatever it is. We know he's way up there. Listed at 6'6". We think he may be more than that. And on 2nd and goal, stays in the pocket, throws, touchdown! Touchdown to Robert Herron. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have been inspired since the 2nd quarter, have answered that last touchdown drive by the Saints with one of their own early here in the 4th quarter. And with the extra point, can regain that 11-point lead.
It seems like every play, Mike Glennon gets better and better. He's growing up in front of our eyes. And you see Robert Herron just working the back end line. Working the back end line that usually is manned by Jairus Byrd. So you're seeing Jairus not being in the ball game. Mike Glennon taking full advantage of it.
And the first NFL touchdown for Herron, the rookie from Wyoming. And here is Patrick Murray with the extra point, and the Buccaneers again lead by 11, 31-20. This was the touchdown, but how about the pass to Vincent Jackson? We've been saying that all day to set it up.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by the new Volkswagen Jetta. Isn't it time for German engineering? By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
There's a scoring drive as the Buccaneers go 81 yards. Herron with the touchdown catch, his first career touchdown. And so far, Glennon 18 for 28 now for 243 yards, 2 TDs and a pick. And now let's see what the Saints do to answer. Cadet, who scored the last touchdown for New Orleans, launches his way out to the 22.
Just looking at Drew Brees, he knows he should not throw this football to get the interception. Then you look at the protection breaks down. Another interception, return for a touchdown. But typical Drew Brees, shakes it off, drives his team down for a touchdown. If there's one guy in the NFL I know I want on my team to bring me back, that's number 9, playing for the Saints.
So he answered those 2 big interceptions, one in the 2nd quarter and one in the 3rd quarter, which the Buccaneers converted for touchdowns. Let's see what he does here after Tampa Bay answered his touchdown drive. Ball on the 22. Brees lets it go, and Colston makes the catch at the 28-yard line. 6-yard pickup. Drew Brees has completed 23 of 35 today. 259 yards, 2 scores, and 2 interceptions that resulted in 14 points for Tampa Bay. Now it's 2nd and 4. And that'll be offsides against Tampa Bay.
5-yard penalty. The yardage results in a first down.
Clinton McDonald, former Seahawk,
Remember, this is what you can do at home. You know, Drew Brees, they've lost their first 3 games on the road this season, but it's different when you're at home. You can manipulate the snap count because you're at home. The crowd's quieted down, but, you know, I want to see what this offense does now. Remember, no Jimmy Graham, new center, Jonathan Goodwin, he's out for the rest of the game. So it's a different New Orleans Saints offense.
We saw what they did the last time they had the ball without these guys. They scored.
They have to create more opportunities now for the other guys because Jimmy Graham's not coming back this game.
First down. Here's Tyree Robinson, and good pursuit that time by Levante David. Tell you, when you have a David and a McCoy and a Barron, you've got some players defensively for your club.
But I think when you look at all the guys in here in the box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I mean, they're not even respecting the pass anymore. They're getting up to the run game and saying, look, you're going to have to throw the football if you want to beat us, Drew Brees, because that run game is not going to be effective today, making them one-dimensional.
2nd and 10. Brees going downfield. Incomplete, intended for Kenny Stills. Pressure by Gerald McCoy, and I think Brees threw it a little bit earlier than he wanted to, and Stills, first time they've gone his way today.
But still, if you're Drew Brees, you need your wide receiver to make this catch. I mean, Kenny Stills gets in behind the defense.
Yep.
He's got to make that catch. He's got his eye on Major Wright, worrying about the hit. Secure the catch first, then curl yourself up. You need that catch in this situation.
Major Wright, who was hurt, came back in at free safety. 3rd down and 10. And Brees stepping up, and the pass is caught. Flag is down. Pass caught by Brandon Cooks, and penalties indicated against Tampa Bay.
Holding. Number 21 defense. That penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
Alteron Werner was holding the cornerback, so the 16-yard pass to Cooks will hold up, and now the Saints again march into Bucs territory. Ball will be, well, actually just short of it. Sorry, 49 on the Saints 49 now. Here's Robinson. Tampa Bay doing a good job of extending the play when Robinson carries it to the outside. Jonathan Banks pushed him out of bounds. Banks with a key interception late in the 2nd quarter for Tampa Bay limits Robinson to a pickup of 3.
This Tampa Bay defense sees that when you have a running back in the game, he's lined up behind the center. It's a big high alert for what we call a run play. Alert, 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 run. This defense is just too fast, Tampa Bay, because they have great angles. When they get to the football, you're not going to run outside of them. It's just one of those defensive Lovie Smith preaches. Do not let the running back get outside.
Still don't have a sack on Brees today, but they've had a lot of pressure. 2nd down and 7. And there is the slant to Cooks. First down inside the 40. Johnson on the coverage, so Brandon Cooks with his 9th catch of the game. So 9 catches for Cooks, and that doesn't begin to tell the story of the end around, the handoffs, the flips to him. That Brees has used him. As you mentioned, they want to use him in many ways. First down at the 39.
53. 1-2-9 left. 90, strike cut.
And there's the pressure, getting rid of it. Haven't we seen this picture before from Drew Brees trying to throw the ball away? Marcus Colston was closest to him as he was going down.
It's a dangerous play for Drew Brees. If you're going to throw the football away.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Receiver number 12 in the area. No intentional grounding. 3rd down.
Either you're going to throw the football away or you're going to go down to the ground. Just take a sack.
Correction. 2nd down.
Because you've already given up an interception and was returned for a touchdown. This is dangerous for Drew Brees. I'm not used to seeing this from Drew Brees. This is not typical of what he's shown me throughout his career.
Not at all. And Gerald McCoy really making life difficult for that Saints offensive line. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Ball still at the 39 of Tampa Bay.
Like 50. Ready. 90 left.
Robinson with a break gets a first down. And a flag goes down as well. Penalty marker.
Offside, number 93 defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play.
So
First down.
Gerald McCoy, anxious to get in on Breeze, called him for the offside penalty, and a 12-yard run by Kyrie Robinson sticks. And the Saints now with a first down at the 27 of Tampa Bay with under 10 minutes to go in the fourth.
Those self-inflicted wounds I keep talking about for Tampa Bay. Jumping off sides. The ball's right there in front of you, Gerald McCoy.
Pierre Thomas now checks in. Breeze pumping left, looking right, in trouble, and throws an incompleted pass. And that time it was William Golston with the pressure, number 92, on Drew Brees. And coming into the game, the Bucs had 9 sacks, not that many hurries, but I'll tell you what, Brees has been hurried out of his shoes today.
I think sometimes you try to look for sack numbers and they're not there. But to me, it's getting Drew Brees off the spot. To me, that's almost similar to a sack because he's not able to set his feet. He's going out of the pocket, and that throws the timing of this offense way off.
Second and 10 from the 27, and the pitch to Pierre Thomas. Thomas with a head of steam has a first down, and he scores for New Orleans. Second touchdown of the day for Pierre Thomas. One as a receiver and one as a runner. And the Buccaneers missing a chance to make a tackle. Zach Streif set a good block, but they could have had Thomas down before he reached the end zone. And they're going to go for 2 with the score 31-26 and make this a field goal deficit for the Saints with 9:28 to go.
It's been Drew Brees in the pass, and you throw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers off by throwing a toss play to Pierre Thomas, making a couple guys miss some incredible blocks over there, racing to the end zone.
So on this drive, it was the runs by Robinson and Thomas that have been key in the Saints coming back to narrow the deficit. Here's the 2-point conversion. They fake a pitch, and here's the toss. Not going to make it. The throw to Ben Watson complete, but they tackled him on the 2, and it was Alteron Werner who saved the 2-point conversion. And so they need more than a field goal now. But Thomas makes the Saints crawl closer with this touchdown, 31-26. And the Saints score, but a crucial miss on the 2-point conversion because now they need a touchdown to take the lead in this game, though we still have plenty of time remaining. And that offensive line, what a job they did on that drive.
This is the most experienced group of the football team. You got Goodwin as that center. He's out for the game, but Streif, Evans. I mean, this is what Drew Brees knows, those big guys up front protecting and blocking.
Bucs will take it out on the 20. Mike Glennon, who has performed some magic of his own today in the house of Drew Brees.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
Buccaneers have a 5-point lead. And in their last 4 possessions, field goal and 3 touchdowns. Mike Glennon and the Tampa Bay offense coming alive here in the second half. First down at the 20. What did the Saints defense do? They've been beleaguered so far this year. Doug Martin picks up 3 yards. Flag.
Holding, number 69 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Right tackle DeMar Dotson.
Let's take a look at that last Tampa Bay drive. Mike Glennon getting out of the pocket, making something happen. Making the most of his opportunity, throwing it down to Benson Jackson. And then later in that drive, the touchdown right here. Robert Perron, first touchdown in the NFL. Mike Glennon, we saw him last week, no panic in Pittsburgh. Today he's showing no panic, showing poise in the pocket. Showing why he's the starting quarterback right now for the Buccaneers.
But now facing a first and 20, back on the 10. After the holding penalty. Ball getting away from Glennon, covers up at the 2. And this crowd will become more vociferous on the next play.
Little miscommunication. Vincent Jackson flying by. That's just a bad snap. That can't happen. That can't happen deep in your own territory. Now this crowd is alive. Second and long situation.
Second down and 28.
Gonna have to call timeout here.
You don't want to use a timeout in the second half this early. Now, indication, is there a penalty marker down?
Correction. Delay of game, offense. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
No timeout was called, but a delay of the game penalty. That's half the distance, so they'll place it down at the 1. And another flag, a false start penalty called against Tampa Bay.
False start, number 72 offense. After distance to the goal, second down.
Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Well, after trailing all day, Buffalo has come back to tie it at Detroit. Kyle Orton looking up with Chris Gregg. They add a 2-point conversion, and it's even at 14, 7.5 left to play. Dick and Kirk.
Ball on the half-yard line. And just getting it out is Doug Martin.
Have to be very careful down here, Dick. Very careful. You're Tampa Bay. One thing is, you can't jump off sides if you're New Orleans. You know they got to go on first down. If you're Tampa Bay, they have to go on first down. It's too loud in the building.
That's affected. Yeah, that's affected why they've had all those problems. Look, so here it is, 3rd and 29. Safety. Junior Galette gets the safety.
That's a situation right there. You cannot throw the football in this situation. This offensive line having trouble blocking right here. It's too loud. The New Orleans Saints able to get off on the snap count. Now you get the safety, and all the momentum is now in New Orleans' favor. You don't throw the football down in that situation. I feel you run the football, punt it back to New Orleans, and put your defense out there that played pretty good this half. But you put them in this situation, that's tough for an offense to get out on your 1-yard line.
So we have had no sacks in the game until then, and it turns out to be a safety that brings the Saints to within 3, and they'll get the ball back. Free kick coming up for the Buccaneers.
6-9.
Michael Kanan with the free kick, and it's now 31-28. So you remember that missed 2-point conversion? Well, they got the 2 another way.
Yeah, Junior Galette just coming right here. Logan Mankins doesn't get the switch. It's too loud. You can't yell, switch, switch, switch. And that's where it's just an easy sack. Junior Galette going in. Anthony Collins, Logan Mankins right there. Not being able to switch. The communication's not there. It's too loud in the building. That's a good call by Rob Ryan. Bringing the pressure on 3rd down.
Brandon Cooks and Tavares Cadet are both back at about the 20-yard line on this free kick. And it's going to be Brandon Cooks. Cooks breaking away, does a good job of juking his way to the 40. Well, tomorrow, the Major League Baseball postseason on Fox Sports 1 continues as the scene shifts to St. Louis for Game 3 in the NLDS. Yassel Puig, Matt Kemp, who was the hero with a home run yesterday for the Dodgers. They take on Matt Holliday, Yadier Molina, and the Cardinals tomorrow at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I stayed up past my bedtime watching the Giants last night. You see that?
Well, what time's your curfew?
Well, my curfew was early. That game went 18 innings. I got 2 games in 1 last night.
Well, okay, but next time.
Next time I'll go to bed a little
next
earlier.
time, that's right.
Just catch the score in the morning.
I watched it too. It was sensational. We're getting great postseason baseball on Fox Sports 1. 1st and 10, and they loop it out to Pierre Thomas. Thomas running after the catch. Big game. Thomas still on his feet and finally knocked down. Tell you what, I got to question a little of Tampa Bay's defensive aggressiveness there with a running back that is there to be tackled before he was in this case. He got 19 yards to the Bucs 41.
That's how you start a drive off. You have a overzealous defense coming after Drew Brees. You throw the screen pass right behind him, get the offensive lineman up front. That turns into a big game for New Orleans.
For a first down at the 41. So Brees continues to set marks. And this is Kyrie Robinson straight ahead. Look at the tough running by Robinson. Kyrie Robinson, who had a career high of 87 yards against the Dallas Cowboys, 67 coming up on one play, 62.
I think Drew Brees talked about not being one-dimensional. They got one-dimensional last week against Dallas. Today, seeming to be more balanced, especially in this half.
How about the Saints rushing for 105, passing for 303. 2nd down and 3 for Drew Brees. One fake goes to the sideline, incomplete, thrown behind Tavares Cadet. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Saints on the Buccaneers 34. 5:17 to go in the 4th. Both of these teams coming in 1-3. The Saints getting thrashed by Dallas, losing 3 on the road, trying to get well at home. But a lot tougher task than maybe they anticipated against the Buccaneers, who won a big road game last week in Pittsburgh.
From Tampa Bay, alert the hard count. Watch going on too. Drew Brees trying to pick up a first down in this situation.
And he swings it out to Cadet. Cadet with the first down inside the 30. It looks like Brees is doing better when he pecks away than when he goes deep, which he tried to do early when the Saints had to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns on 2 occasions in the first quarter.
You take what the defense gives you. If they're going to line man-to-man up on the outside with the wide receivers, just throw a screen pass, get Cadet out in the open field, pick up a first down.
They're on the 28, 1st down. Kyrie Robinson checking back in. 2 tight ends. Play action. Here comes pressure from behind on Brees, and the pass is caught by Watson. Held on before he got clobbered by Levante David. And a gain of a pair.
This was more of a design rollout. Drew Brees gets out of the pocket, trying to buy time to get the ball down the field. This is in that fringe of the red zone where Drew Brees likes to take a shot with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's not in the game, so who's going to be the guy? I always look to see who's the guy that you circle and find that Drew Brees is going to try to take a shot right here in this part of the field.
Don't forget Jonathan Goodwin, the center, is not in the game either. He was hurt. Brees has to go to Thomas, and Thomas is hit by Levante David, who smelled out that play perfectly, and a loss on that play of 8 yards. 8-yard loss. Huge play by the Tampa Bay defense.
There's always one guy who I look at every time I watch the Tampa Bay defense. That's number 54, Levante David. You see the angle. He beats the tackle, comes right underneath, and just makes a huge play for this defense. This is the reason why he wears that green dot on the back of his helmet. He's calling the plays. He's calling the shots. Team captain, Levante David.
3rd and 16. Back on the 34. And here is Brees going underneath. And Thomas is tackled at the 32 by Levante David again. A brilliant defensive performance today by the all-pro linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that brings up a field goal try. Shane Graham coming in. So once again, Tampa Bay not letting Brees get in the end zone. And now the Saints with Shane Graham looking to tie this game up. This will be a 44-yard try. Graham already has clicked from 30 and 29. And the kick is good, and the Saints have tied it up at 31. NFC South showdown indeed. Phenomenal performance by Levante David. 13 tackles today, 2 for a loss. Doesn't even bring in the hard hits he's had in this game and kept the Saints out of the end zone. And Drew Brees in a battle today. And here is the kickoff. Solomon Patton will decide to keep it there. And the Bucs will get it at the 20. So, Kirk, what are we looking at? Last possession wins this game?
I don't know about last, but I say last play. Because the way that these two teams are playing, they've matched each other's score. Hey, you score, I'll score. We've seen touchdowns, we've seen field goals, but also we've seen a safety. So to me, it's going to come down to the last play. I look at penalties, though. Tampa Bay, a lot of penalties that have stalled drives. The same with New Orleans. Looking at Drew Brees, a couple plays he wish he could have back. But I'm coming down to the last play. That's where this game's going to end.
Bucs have been penalized 13 times today to only 5 for New Orleans. Bobby Rainey is the tailback from the 20. Rainey. And Bobby Rainey breaks a couple of tackles and gets 7.5 yards. Rainey with a big game against the Rams when he rushed for 144 in week 2. Getting close to the 2-minute warning now. And we will have the 2-minute warning before the next play is being run. 2 minutes remaining in regulation. The Bucs and Saints, both 1-3, both with 31 points. 2 minutes remain. Both teams have 3 timeouts left. 2nd down and 2 from the 28. Glennon caught for the first down by Lewis Murphy, who fumbled the ball out of bounds. So it remains Tampa Bay ball. Take a look at this game summary. We step back. Glennon with a great comeback last week in the same position this week. Those are his numbers. Big second half. Brees uncharacteristically 2 interceptions resulting in touchdowns for Tampa Bay.
And out of bounds.
Graham left the game with a shoulder injury, so he has been gone. And 14 points off of turnovers for the Buccaneers. 1st and 10 at the 34. Glennon, and it's caught shy of the first down, I believe, by Murphy again. Lewis Murphy with a couple of words for Brian Dixon.
Looks like holding.
And a flag is down.
Holding. Number 70 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, from an unexpected guy, Logan Mankins called for holding.
I saw someone go to the ground and looked like Logan Mankins. He's right over here. Somebody goes to the ground, looks like Logan Mankins, throws him to the ground. They're going to call that every time. I just talked about the penalties coming down the stretch for Tampa Bay. You can't have the penalties. This looks a lot like last week's game versus Pittsburgh, this final drive.
14 penalties for 108 yards. Now 1st and 20 puts Mike Glennon and company in a hole. Glennon looking for help and throws it away. Actually, the ball landed in the vicinity of Vincent Jackson. Well, week 5 continues later today on CBS. And then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. So now it's 2nd down and 20 from the 24. Lennon off the hands of Rainey. Couldn't do anything downfield. That was great coverage downfield by the Saints, Kirk.
Yeah, would have been almost a coverage sack. Mike Glennon gets out of it, throws to his last check down. Ball was not caught, but you just look at the time now. It's just 3rd and 20, still 1:22. New Orleans 3 timeouts. Tampa still has 3 timeouts. I don't think he can hear right now. You don't take a shot here. You probably take a draw play here or something short and quick, but punt the football, rely on the defense.
Well, they need some yardage here for field position. So they just can't hand it off for 2. And Glennon in trouble, fires. And the pass appears to be incomplete to Murphy. It looked like the pass had bounced. He short hopped it.
I thought it hit the turf.
I did too.
It's an incomplete pass.
It's an incomplete pass.
Please set the game clock to 1:12.
I thought it skipped right there.
Thank you.
So the pass incomplete, and it'll be 4th down and 20. Well, they try to get some yards here as Glennon took a shot, comes slipping a bit off the field, and Michael Kanan will be punting to Brandon Cooks. And 1 minute and 12 seconds and 3 timeouts is an eternity for Drew Brees. Nothing fancy here, and a fair catch. Good field position. Well, tomorrow on Fox, we've got 2 shows that everyone's talking about. First, heroes and villains collide in an all-new Gotham. And then it's television's wildest ride on a new Sleepy Hollow. 2 great dramas you can catch right here tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on Fox. So the Saints will have the ball on the 36, 1st and 10. 34 game-winning drives on Drew Brees' resume. And in case you're wondering, Shane Graham's career high is 53 yards for a field goal. Right now they would need about 30 yards to get to that point. 1st down at the 36.
Delay of game, offense.
And this is
penalty, 1st down.
Penalty, delay of game called against New Orleans. Wow.
That can't happen. To start a 2-minute drive, that can't happen. You're already backing yourself up 5 yards. Even Sean Payton, that's driving him crazy.
Well, he's wondering about that. He said, how did that happen? But it did, and so now it's back to the 31. No way you could read his lips. 1st and 15. Here's Pierre Thomas. Thomas with a big gain, and Thomas getting up to the 44 before Lansana brings him down. A pickup of 13, and the backup center, Lilito, who's in for Goodwin, had a good block there for Thomas. 2nd and 1. A long one. Brees fires. Caught. 1st down to the 49 of Tampa Bay by Pierre Thomas.
He's been the forgotten man in this offense in the first couple of weeks of the season.
New Orleans, the 32nd timeout.
And now you see Pierre Thomas, what he brings to this offense. He's the veteran. He's the veteran of the group.
8 catches for Thomas. He's gained 34 yards on the ground. And the Saints use their first timeout with 35 seconds to go. All they need to do is get in field goal range for Shane Graham. And there he is.
What Pierre Thomas does for this offense is he not only gives you the running game, but it's in the passing game. It's the screen game. The big, huge yardage he's picked up on 1st down has helped out this offense.
Where does Drew Brees go now?
I think he continues to go to Cooks or Colston. Those are the 2 guys you get the ball to.
Want to welcome those viewers who have joined us. The New Orleans Saints trying to get in position to win this game. 31-31 battle royal with Tampa Bay. 1st and 10 at the 49 of Tampa Bay. Here's Brees. He completes the pass, and the ball is dropped, and they rule it incomplete. Incomplete to Colston.
2nd down.
And that would have been a huge gain, but Colston dropped the ball.
Marcus Colston, the sure-handed receiver. Drew Brees, I'm not sure if he had control of that. That looks to me You may have to review that play.
Major Wright was right over him, but the ball was in his hands, if not in control, a pass he normally catches. And now 2nd and 10 from the 49. Under a half a minute to play. 2 timeouts left, and the pressure again by Gerald McCoy. He's been in Drew Brees' face.
There's no intentional grounding on the play. Receiver number 82 in the area. 3rd down.
Wild game. Drew Brees missing chances for touchdowns, settling for field goals. The Saints led 13-0, and then the Bucs came back with 24 unanswered points to take an 11-point lead, and then back and forth they went, exchanging touchdowns. 2-point conversion missed, but a safety for New Orleans, and a field goal by Graham made it 31-31. 3rd down and 10. Brees going deep for Meacham, and the pass is intercepted. The Bucs intercept the ball, and it's Alteron Werner.
Moving on the field as the pass is intercepted, and that player is down by
the
contact.
3rd interception thrown by Drew Brees.
Alteron Werner right here on Meacham, just staying patient, running, getting in phase. Attacks the football at his highest point, brings it down for the interception. Watch how he leaps, gets in front of Meacham. A big play by Alteron Werner.
So in essence, it looked as if he was either going to get the catch for the field goal or else send this game into overtime. 16 seconds to go. The ball is at the 11. Mike Glennon playing it safe, handing off to Doug Martin, and Martin bursting ahead with 9 seconds to go, and Tampa Bay calls a timeout.
First charge timeout.
And they get it out to the 26-yard line. What a wild game we have seen, and coming into it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers really in siege, and then beating Pittsburgh on the road last week, and then New Orleans needing to win. Thinking that coming back at home where they've won 9 in a row may be the magic potion. But I'll tell you what, the Bucs have played great today.
It's been back and forth, back and forth. To me, it's what team finishes. They've been here before. You look at Tampa Bay last week versus Pittsburgh. This is a very similar situation. They've shown the poise, but New Orleans at home is going to be tough.
Well, you know what Drew Brees can do, and he's had a little problems today, but Mike Glennon, again, takes another leap forward today, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think with every play, he gets better and better. You're starting to see him go through progressions and checks down. And today, what impressed me so far is him getting out of the pocket and making things happen. You know, the big play to Vincent Jackson to set up a score. Mike Glennon just impressing me more and more with each play.
And we're going into overtime.
Gentlemen, we are about to begin an overtime period of up to 15 minutes. Fourth quarter timing rules are in effect. Each team gets 2 timeouts. All the challenges will be up by the replay official in the booth. It is a sudden death unless the first team to score kicks a field goal, in which case the other team will have an opportunity to possess the ball. Tampa Bay gets to select the toss. This is heads, the other side is tails. He selects heads. It is tails. New Orleans takes the ball. New Orleans gets the ball first this end of the field. Good luck, gentlemen.
So Drew Brees in position to get the Saints home with a win, but he would have to get a touchdown to do it. Back for overtime after this. As you look at the overtime rules, which we heard from Carl Shepherds, the key is that both teams have an opportunity to possess the ball unless a touchdown is scored or a safety. So if you get a field goal, the other team now has a chance to get back and score. If they get a field goal, the next points would win the game. It would be sudden death at that point. So Drew Brees and the Saints will get it first. And they'll start from the 20-yard line. So Drew Brees, who has thrown 3 interceptions, first time since November of 2012 against Atlanta. And that day, he threw 5 picks to the Falcons.
You talk about a pressure situation. I don't know if it's a pressure situation for Drew Brees. These are the games that he lives for. Remember this year, earlier this year, the playoff game versus Philadelphia, leading the game-winning drive, getting into the divisional round. This is Drew Brees' element.
And you look at Lovie Smith, he knows what he's in for, doesn't he? Colston in motion, first down, play action, and Brees drills it up the middle. It's caught by Colston, and Colston gets up past the 40-yard line. Gain of 21.
How many times have we seen that connection? Brees to Colston. You get into the pressure situations, you go to the guy you believe in and you trust in. And Marcus Colston wishes he had the play earlier that he dropped. This time he makes up for it with a big catch.
Colston in his 9th year was a 7th-round pick out of Hofstra. Leach, the other veteran, in his 8th year. Those are the two vets that Brees has with him. Try to put it in the air again. Escapes defensive problem and throws it away. That time it was Michael Johnson.
29 in the area.
Was
Second down.
putting pressure on.
This pressure up the middle has been on Drew Brees the entire game. But this time he reads the pressure, sees it, and this time he throws it all the way out of bounds. Remember earlier he tried the same exact play and it was picked off. This time he throws it exactly where he wants it, out of bounds. Keep it away from Tampa Bay.
And Kyrie Robinson, the running back, was in the area. That's why it wasn't an intentional grounding call. Second down and 10.
Ready. 20.
Brees drills it, and off the hands of Kenny Stills, hit high, and he got hit hard. So now it's third down and 10 from the 41-yard line of New Orleans.
Another third and long situation. Gerald McCoy, Michael Johnson, McDonald, Golston. These guys know that they're going to get after the passer. Drew Brees has to get the time. He has to get the protection. Remember, Jonathan Goodwin, center, out for the game. The communication has to be there up front when they run these stunts and blitzes.
Saints have won their last 9 at home and 18 straight with Peyton on the sideline, not counting the year he was out. And here is Brees' toss, and a penalty flag down at the 42-yard line. And it could be against New Orleans.
Prior to the pass, illegal use of hands to the face. Number 27 defense. 5-yard penalty.
Jonathan Banks.
Automatic first down.
The Buccaneer players seemingly thinking it was against the Saints. But how about this? A first down now, a big one.
Yeah, if you're Tampa Bay tomorrow, if you go in that film room and you lose this football game, you're going to look right at the penalties. Because it's been penalty after penalty that have kept drives alive for New Orleans.
Banks on Meacham that time, hands to the face. 15 penalties for 113 yards. Many of them blunting big plays offensively for Tampa Bay. On the slant, and the catch by Josh Hill. Now the ball is at the 46. Longest field goal in the career of Shane Graham, who would be called on to win it. Would be 53 yards, not to win it, but at least to give the Saints the lead. That's why Brees looking for the touchdown to end it.
You ready, my son?
Kyrie Robinson. And appears to have enough on second effort for the first down.
The big grubs, the big fella, left guard, pulling, leading the way for Kyrie Robinson. Not abandoning the run game. Even though you're in an overtime and a sudden death situation, not abandoning the run game. Still trying to stay not one-dimensional. Still make sure that it's balanced run pass.
Saints have run for 108 yards today, led by Robinson with 58. First down on the Bucs 43. And this pass incomplete. Ben Watson. And remember, Jimmy Graham suffered a shoulder injury in the second quarter and was taken to the locker room. Hasn't returned. A big loss for the Saints.
Just out of the stretched hands of Ben Watson. Mark Barron's been on coverage duties all day. He had Jimmy Graham earlier in the game. Now he's on Watson. He's had a huge game defending these tight ends of New Orleans.
Second down and 10 now. Pierre Thomas, been an outstanding receiver and runner in the game. The pitch to Thomas, And Thomas trying to spin his way. And it's Major Wright, the free safety. 2-yard pickup there. One time the Saints had a 13-0 lead, only to see the Buccaneers come back with 24 unanswered points. Twice they led by 11, only to see Drew Brees and company come back.
Another 3rd and long situation. You see the defensive line of Tampa Bay right now. They're ready, ears pinned back.
Ready?
There they come, pressure on Brees. Brees over the middle, and the pass is going to be caught by Ben Watson. And right now they're in field goal range to at least take a lead. They're at the 31, and another first down. 13-yard gain.
Protection, protection, protection. If you got a window like that, if you're Drew Brees, that's easy. That's pitch and catch to your tight end. No pressure up the middle. Just throw it to an area. Let Ben Watson go get it. First down, New Orleans Saints.
Kirk, it seems when Brees has been more effective, he's been throwing the shorter passes and the runs more than going deep. And here is Robinson. Kyrie Robinson. Good hard running by Kyrie Robinson out of West Texas A&M, getting 6 yards. And now they place the ball at the 26 of Tampa Bay. 488 yards today for the Saints. The most since last November against the Cowboys.
Ready, my time.
2nd and 5. Robinson charges his way. Gets another first down to the 20. Gets 6 yards here. That's been the formula for the Saints today. Forget about the deep play. They've gone to the medium pass and the run. And now the crowd hopes that Drew Brees can finish this one.
Last week at Dallas, this was the first game they felt that they were not physical enough, and Dallas answered that bell. This week, walking around that facility, New Orleans Saints, we're going to make sure we're physical, and that was a physical run by Kyrie Robinson right there. Straight at this Tampa Bay defense, right through the middle.
Opposite, Mike.
First down at the 20.
Ready. You ready, my son?
Robinson for a couple. Twelfth play coming up. Lovie Smith and his defensive unit trying to keep Drew Brees from getting the winning touchdown. With the first possession here in overtime.
I think you take a shot here if you're Drew Brees. Just take a shot at the end zone. You already have points in the field goal, but end it right here.
Hey, opposite, Mike 50. Ready.
2nd down and 8. And here's Kyrie Robinson. Robinson to the 10-yard line. Robinson still going, wins the game with a touchdown.
That's the end of the game.
An 18-yard touchdown run by Kyrie Robinson ends it. 5 minutes and 36 seconds, 80 yards and 12 plays, and Drew Brees leads New Orleans to the victory, 37-31.
You think that the New Orleans Saints win the game on a pass? It's the running game. Downhill, Kyrie Robinson in for the score.
It's been there all day, and we'll be back.